It's Thursday, July 16th.
Our first priority is to keep people safe, from early fire detection to evacuation.
Out of control wildfires burning across northwestern Ontario destroy homes and buildings, force several to flee.
I'll probably stay an extra week. That's probably not a good, probably a good plan, right? Instead of having delays in the airport.
WestJet flight attendants vote in favor of strike action, leaving passengers preparing for the worst.
Messi. Oh, and England are in trouble. Maybe through Lautaro Martinez, they're going out in the semi-final stage. It's
familiar story at the World Cup. Argentina has another chance at glory, while England is left with heartbreak. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Your morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Thursday.
A little celebration. We had this in Milestones yesterday, but now we have video. Over 40 years, one job is quite an accomplishment. We're celebrating, of course. And now former Regina McDonald's employee Brenda Smith had a large contingent out to celebrate her official retirement.
Absolutely beautiful. I love that so many people came out to celebrate with her. Congratulations and welcome to that new phase of your life, Brenda.
Yeah, no kidding. 43 years on the job. She says she was excited about how many people showed up and just going to enjoy her retirement now.
Do you think you'll be right here on this desk for the next 20 years, make it 40?
Ooh. One can hope, right? One can hope. Let's get to news, and it's far less cheery. It starts with wildfires in Ontario, leaving a trail of destruction in northwestern Ontario, with smoke blowing across much of that province.
Unfortunately, one of our communities completely burnt down from fire, and it was very disheartening.
There are nearly 150 wildfires burning in northwest Ontario, 69 of which considered out of control. One of the hardest hit communities is Collins First Nation, which has seen significant damage due to homes and buildings. The community is not accessible by road, forcing many to flee by boat. Evacuation orders remain in effect for several other First Nations. Many people who have left their homes are now in Thunder Bay, where space is quickly running out. Crews from Alberta and Yukon have arrived to help fight the fire. There are currently 47 active wildfires burning here in Saskatchewan, all of those well north of Prince Albert. Farm Credit Canada is offering support for prairie producers dealing with flooded or saturated fields. FCC said the supports for those facing flood-related financial pressure also apply to delayed field operations caused by severe weather. Customers hit hard by the weather events this season are encouraged to contact FCC to find out what options are available. Elsewhere, short-term flooding issues in Beanfate and Estevan after overnight storms dropped significant amounts of rainfall there in a short time frame. The storm overwhelmed Beanfate's pump system, causing some flash flooding. The exact rainfall total still needs to be verified through Environment and Climate Change Canada. The town is applying for provincial disaster assistance nearby in Estevan. Less rainfall, but power outages in parts of the city persisted into Wednesday morning. Some Conservative MPs say Canada's current approach to bail laws and the justice system has contributed to a rise in violent crime. Wednesday in Regina, Andrew Scheer, surrounded by fellow Conservative MPs, called out Mark Carney's Liberal government.
Crime is an issue that unfortunately touches Canadians in every community, big and small. And despite the rhetoric and the illusion that the Mark Carney Liberals are trying to paint about taking action, we know a year into Mark Carney's government that the results just don't match the rhetoric. Numerous pieces of legislation have not only failed to undo previous bad Liberal policy, but they've in fact made it worse, further weakening penalties and sentencing provisions.
The Conservatives are calling for stricter penalties and tougher measures for repeat and violent offenders. Hamilton City Council has voted against a one-year pause on new data centers.
We now have Bill 128. to the perpetrators.
Council voted 10-6 against the measure. Councillors who opposed it said it could threaten new investments in the city. Hamilton would have been the first city in the country to pass a moratorium on data centers. Building these facilities comes with concerns over noise as well as energy and water use. The vote now opens the door for 2 known data center projects to move forward in the community. Saskatchewan is capitalizing on another AI opportunity with a major expansion in your city, Jeremy Dodge.
Good morning, Daryl. Yeah, it's Siemens EDA, one of the tech pioneers, the first to use AI to automate building computer chips. They've announced they're adding another 10,000 square feet to the footprint in Saskatoon. Company says this will bring its site to around 45,000 square feet and allow the company to grow from 300 to 400 employees. What once started out as a small 350 square foot office will be a global hub in designing computer chips that are being relied on more and more with AI data consumption. With semiconductors now being a $1 trillion industry, the company and the province are happy to see Saskatchewan's largest tech company choose to grow here and not somewhere else.
We are proving that you don't need to be in Silicon Valley to do the work in technology that has a massive global impact.
Those microchips that power everything from smartphones to vehicles to critical infrastructure that are ultimately ensuring the sovereignty of our nations. Saskatchewan is well positioned to be a part of that supply chain and to meet that demand.
Roughly 80% of the workforce at Siemens EDA are graduates from the U of S. That's a trend Siemens says it's looking to continue with this expansion. Well, it was a scary situation yesterday when a plane came in for landing at the Saskatoon airport. Airport confirmed around 8:30 in the morning there was an incident upon landing involving a Cessna 310. No injuries were reported, but the aircraft was immobilized on the secondary runway where crews worked to remove the plane and take it to a nearby facility. The airport did not specify exactly what caused the issue, but did share that the airport remains fully operational. Well, Daryl, a trial date for the owner of a former school that self-proclaimed Queen of Canada lived in has been set for early 2027.
That's right. Ricky Manzi is facing 3 charges: failing to comply with a release order condition, intimidation of a justice system participant, and failure to comply with an undertaking condition. He's also facing 7 additional charges related to previous incidents. Manz allowed the group's leader, Romano Didolo, and her followers to reside at the former school in Richmond for almost 2 years. The Crown and Defence agreed to set the 4-day trial for January 5th to 8th in Swift Current Provincial Court. RCMP have charged 2 people in connection to a shooting in Melfort earlier this month that left 1 person seriously injured. On July 7th, police say a fight between a group of people on 1st Avenue South resulted in 2 men being shot. One of the victims' injuries were serious, the others considered non-life-threatening. The next day, RCMP searched a home and seized a crossbow, gun, ammunition, cocaine, and drug trafficking supplies. Officers also found 2 loaded guns in a vehicle. 2 men are facing a string of charges in connection to the case. If you have travel plans with WestJet, there could be a flight disruption in your future, with flight attendants voting in favor of a strike.
We're the 2nd largest carrier in Canada, and yet somehow WestJet flight attendants are amongst the lowest paid.
Okay, so thousands of WestJet flight attendants could strike as early as August 2nd. Their union says its members are more than 99% in favor of strike action following 11 months of negotiations with WestJet. One of the main issues is over what the union says is unpaid hours. Flight attendants don't get paid until the doors of the aircraft close. The airline says their hourly wage is created to compensate that work. Experts say up to 75,000 passengers fly with WestJet every day, and a strike would have a major impact on travelers. Travel agents suggest coming up with backup plans to avoid possible disruptions. Canada's home sales are up for the 3rd month in a row as prices begin to stabilize, but the number number of new listings fell 1.3% for a second straight month, pushing the national sales to listings ratio to about 50% for first time this year. But what does that all mean? Well, basically, it's that the gap between buyer demand and new supply is narrowing. That means buyers are returning while supply is becoming more limited. Even Americans are following in Saskatchewan's footsteps when it comes to the use of time. The U.S. House of Representatives has voted to keep the U.S. on daylight saving time year-round. That's the time we're on right now. Proponents say it would spare Americans the semi-annual clock change, but critics say it would have a negative economic consequence, especially for farmers. According to the National Conference of State Legislatures, many states are ready to embrace the shift. 19 states have enacted legislation to switch to year-round daylight saving time if Congress allows it. But the bill also allows states to opt out if they act before it takes effect. There is another Chinese car maker looking to break into the Canadian EV market.
The quality is good, the price is good, and when people start to test the vehicle, say, wow, this is good.
Dongfeng held the showcase yesterday in Montreal, planning to introduce two models in Canada, a mini SUV and a subcompact. Both will be priced under $35,000. Dongfeng is working through the certification process right now. China-made EVs are coming as Canada's market is bouncing back. Data shows sales of zero-emission vehicles went up almost 20% in May, year over year. A new retail development is set to start construction in Regina at the site of a former greenhouse. The Lakeview Landing project will become a 2-acre, 5-building retail village on Pasqua Street off Louvain Drive, the former home of Dutch growers. The project is $12 million.
We want to create a sort of European, Argarian-style shopping district village where people can come and spend their day, you know, morning coffee, breakfast, shopping through the afternoon.
The site was home to Dutch Growers, which has held that spot for 15 years before moving to a larger location off Highway 1. The defending World Cup champions are heading back to the final after a stunning victory over England.
Messi. Oh, and England are in trouble. And maybe through Lautaro Martinez, they're going out to the semi-final stage.
Argentina scoring 2 late goals, both assisted by captain Lionel Messi, to complete another epic comeback, winning 2-1. They go on to play Spain in Sunday's final for a chance to go back-to-back at the World Cup. That hasn't been done since '62 by Brazil. Meantime, England will take on France for the 3rd place, the bronze medal, on Saturday. Let's take a little gander at our forecast, and we're not being affected by wildfire smoke like they are in Ontario. Wow.
We do still have some air quality statements in effect far up north, just a very light layer of smoke blanketing Saskatchewan today, though it's not really going to be bothering you. It's the same amount of smoke we've been seeing in the past few days. We're not really seeing much of a change, not seeing the severity of that smoke that they are seeing over in Ontario, thankfully. To wake us up in Regina, we're at 18 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Very low winds to start our day. Thankfully, we are going to be seeing very low wind speeds all throughout the afternoon today. 17 degrees to wake you up in Saskatoon. Again, a mix of sun and clouds, and winds coming in at 15 kilometers per hour. Here's a look at your radar and satellite, though. We saw quite a bit of precipitation late yesterday evening into those overnight hours and into early this morning. Some of that thunderstorm activity that was pushing off into Manitoba early on this morning as well. But right now we're just seeing most of that rain falling just east of Prince Albert. That system that's right around the parkland, right in Yorkton there that you see, that system is mostly pushed off into Manitoba now. Into the afternoon today, we see very light and small spots popping up, coming and going in some places throughout central and southern Saskatchewan. But again, most of that rain will be falling far up north, and that is going to be coming with some thunderstorms into those overnight hours. Again, not seeing a lot, could be seeing some thunderstorms by early tomorrow morning right around Prince Albert between the 3 to 6 a.m. area. We could be talking about that system tomorrow morning. Other than that, though, we're just seeing a little bit of rain in tomorrow afternoon. Most of the rain is going to be falling into the evening hours. This system starts slowly. About 7 p.m. we start to see this system tomorrow starting to impact the southwest corner of the province. Swift current, you're going to be seeing some of those thunderstorms into tomorrow evening. Today's forecast looking a little bit warmer down south compared to where we were at yesterday. 27 degrees for Swift Current. We're seeing some fog there to start the day. 27 for Moose Jaw today, 27 in Weyburn and Estevan as well. 26 for Regina and Saskatoon today, 23 for Yorkton with a bit more cloud cover there. 25 in Prince Albert and 27 in the Battlefords. And here's a look at that wind that we were talking about and how it's going to be remaining very low throughout the day. We're not really seeing anything in terms of those gusts. Well, in case you missed it, a giant planet has been discovered after being hidden for years behind debris in one of the most studied parts of our galaxy. This is an artist's concept of the exoplanet named Beta Pictoris D. NASA was not looking for a new planet, but it was detected by the unique chemical fingerprints of its atmosphere. Astronomers say the faint new world orbiting a young star adds another piece to an already fascinating planetary system that is about 23 million years old.
We need to work on the names for some of these planets.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that. We have Neptune and Jupiter and Earth and Beta, what's it?
Beta
D?
Pictoris D.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will lend my name to that planet.
Oh, well, that's very gracious of you.
Yeah. I'd like to visit Kayleen someday.
Heard it's a hostile planet. Question of the day is where we go to next.
Gaseous.
That's so much worse. That's so much worse.
Everybody compliment the planet of Kayleen.
Yeah, very quickly.
All right, let's get to our question of the day.
Gaseous.
What would you name a planet? No, we're actually asking you today, what is the first movie you remember watching in theaters?
Maybe we should be asking about planetary names.
Should we switch our question of the
Maybe
day?
that's tomorrow.
Should we call an audible?
Yeah.
First movie I saw in theaters. Oof.
I'll go first.
It's got to be animated. It's got to be Snow White at a drive-in.
I remember mine very, very clearly. It was Spy Kids, 2001. I was 4.
Kids.
Oh,
I was
man.
4 years old.
She was 4 in 2001,
I was a 1997 model, and I went to Spy Kids in theaters at 4 years old, 2001.
I'm just going to let that soak in.
I think mine was the Care Bears movie in 1985. I would have been 6. That sounds right.
Okay.
The timing fits.
All right.
Could be.
Let us know what yours are.
We'll throw
that QR code back up there. You can take a look. Let us know what movies you saw.
Thousands of WestJet flight attendants have handed their union a strike mandate, which could lead to disruptions over the August long weekend. Turnout was 97.3% and 99.4% in favor of the mandate, which authorizes their union to enact a strike. The union has said wages, unpaid work, and working conditions remain the main sticking points. After 2 decades of resisting, Ontario is joining the Canadian Securities Administrators passport system, an integral and long-awaited step in harmonizing regulation across the provinces and territories. The decision means businesses and investors can now access capital markets across all Canadian provinces and territories because decisions made by one province's regulator can apply in all other Canadian jurisdictions. The second of the 3 diamond mines that have long anchored the Northwest Territories' economy is closing after its owner, Australia-based Burgundy Diamond Mines, failed to find a buyer for its Canadian subsidiary and ran out of funds to keep operating. That leaves the Gahcho Kué mine, owned by De Beers and Mountain Province, as the last diamond mine standing in the Northwest Territories, and it too is preparing to wind down in the coming years. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
RSV is one of the leading causes of hospitalization in babies, especially during their first few months of life. Signs of RSV start with cold-like symptoms and can escalate, but there is a way to prevent RSV in your baby, according to a new study's findings. Experts learned that babies born to mothers who received an RSV vaccine during pregnancy were about 2/3 less likely to be hospitalized with RSV-related illness during their first 90 days of life. The study also showed vaccination was nearly 68% effective at preventing RSV-related hospitalizations and 69% effective at preventing more serious respiratory infections. The protection appeared to be even stronger in infants younger than 1 month old. So if you are pregnant or planning a pregnancy, speak with your doctor about the RSV vaccine, because when it comes to RSV, the best time to protect a baby may be before they're even born. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Adon.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
Time now for a look at our national forecast. Hot over in Prince George today, up to 31 degrees with that sunshine. A little bit more rain expected in Vancouver and Calgary. Calgary up to 29 degrees today. Over in Winnipeg, we're cooling off today, 23 degrees with just a little bit of precipitation. Over in Ontario today, we're finally falling out of those 30-degree temps. Toronto up to 29 today. Ottawa up to 25 with a bit of rainfall on the way. Some risk of thunderstorms in Montreal. 24 degrees there. Fredericton, 24 degrees. And Halifax up to 27 with a risk of thunderstorms. A nice day in St. John's, up to 20 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices. In Regina, your average price is still $168.9. You might be able to find it for as low as $148.9. In Saskatoon, your average price $165.9, and you're looking at the lowest price of $154.9. In the farm markets today, we find the street price of canola at $740.45 per ton. The futures price $792.40 per ton. Amber Durum wheat now at $285.20 per ton, and red spring wheat at $300.38 per ton. And the Canadian dollar is up. It's now at 71.18 cents US. After the break, the provincial NDP are kicking off their rural tour. Stay with us for the details.
Good morning. Welcome to your morning. Let's get to news. A Saskatchewan man has been ordered to pay $150,000 for things he wrote on Facebook. In 2020, Jack Harper made posts accusing Deborah Perry, the administrator for the RM of Pleasantdale, of theft and lying. A Melfort judge found all the statements to be untrue and defamatory. Harper has been ordered to pay $150,000 in damages. Harper had the option to settle by writing an apology and paying $5,000, but he failed to show up for court on 3 separate occasions.
You can't be posting on the internet that a person whose job is being trusted by the public to administer a municipality is a thief or a liar or misallocating funds, when those things just aren't true. And there has to be some consequences for that.
Kevin Miller, who you just heard from there, says the ruling sends a message that making defamatory social media posts have consequences. He says municipal administrators in Saskatchewan are frequently targeted online. A downtown Regina mosque is asking for your feedback after pausing its public call to prayer following pushback. The RCJM took to social media on Tuesday, inviting residents, workers, businesses, and property owners in the downtown area to take part in the survey. The in-person survey is planned for Friday. On June 20th, the mosque broadcast its first outdoor live call to prayer, which lasts about 3 minutes and drew backlash from several online. The Regina Police Service noted the broadcast did follow the city's noise bylaws. The Muslim call to prayer dates back some 1,400 years. The Saskatchewan NDP kicking off its rural tour this week with a stop in Balgony. The opposition government is aiming to tick off all the boxes when it comes to rural communities in the province. And NDP MLA Jared Clark told CTV News that now that the party caucus is at 26 members, they have the ability to cover all corners of the province and have face-to-face conversations with you about pressing issues like health care.
People are feeling frustrated, and so we are going into these communities, and we are, as part of this tour, going into many communities across the province in rural Saskatchewan to listen, to have conversations about what could fix healthcare in their communities and build a plan that's going to deliver those things.
Jared Clark, who you just heard from there, adding that people in rural Saskatchewan communities have also brought up concerns about childcare and the new funding model for $10 a day childcare introduced by the provincial government. Saskatchewan bus travelers now have more destinations to choose from. Private bus companies have added routes from Regina to Calgary, Winnipeg, and Estevan. Whether they continue for the long haul will depend on how many passengers use it. Wayne Mantika reports.
Roger Maley is an Estevan resident who caught a new bus service to Regina for the day. He waited outside Casino Regina for his ride back home.
You know, when you get to be 78 years old and you're stuck in Estevan, which I like, it's a beautiful city. I want to come up to Regina. I've been here 6 times on the bus because I'm retired and I deserve a good time on Wednesday, and they give me excellent service.
Paradigm Charter is the latest company to offer service on a former STC route. The coach travels between Regina and Estevan every Wednesday.
And we're a family-run business, and we grew up in a small-town community, and we wanted to bring that same mentality to southern Saskatchewan and connect Regina and all of the smaller communities along the way to Estevan. And, you know, we seen a need once STC left.
FlixBus has also expanded with new service from Regina to Calgary and Winnipeg. It's in competition with Rider Express, offering passengers more choices. Paradigm is trying to attract passengers by offering convenient pickup points like hospitals, shopping malls, and the casino.
They really like the service. Yeah, they've been, we're a few more using it all the time, so it's going to take time, but yeah, positive response by everybody.
Current high gas prices have left consumers reconsidering travel plans. Taking the bus may be an affordable option for some. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, near White City.
The odd weather this year has created a surprise at the Saskatoon Berry Barn. The berries ripened early, and owners say picking is now in full swing for anyone hoping to fill a pail before the short season moves on. Customers are making the most of the short Saskatoon berry picking window. One customer filled more than a half bucket in less than half an hour. That's pretty good pace, saying the berries look pretty good this year. Co-owner Grant Erlandson says the weather changed things almost overnight, turning what started as a slow season into a busy rush for families hoping to stock up. In the 29 years that Erlandson has been doing this, he's never seen this rapid ripening situation, and that was due to ideal conditions, which started with the rain earlier this month.
We got 2 or 3 inches there in a couple days over a weekend, and then we got the hot, humid weather, and things just exploded.
They're so plump this year. Like, they're pretty plump last year, but they're much better this year, I'd say.
It's advised to get picking soon because the crop will shrivel up before the beginning of August. A question for you: how much would you pay for a T-Rex skeleton?
22 million. At 22. At 22 with Cassandra. 24. 24 with Frank Everett at 24 million. With Frank Everett, Vice Chairman of Jewelry, 26. Against you, Frank, at $26 million. Will you try for 28? Still with Cassandra at $26 million. 28, thank you, Frank, at $28 million.
Okay, so this went on for a bit, and this T-Rex fossil, lovingly known as Gus, sold for a record $50.1 million US, which works out to about $70 million Canadian. Sold to a mystery buyer. The 67-million-year-old fossil, which is one of the world's largest and most complete specimens, is now the most expensive set of dinosaur bones ever auctioned off. Previous record holder was a Tyrannosaurus Rex nicknamed Stan, that sold for 44 million Canadian bucks in 2020. So, Kayleen, are you or are you not the mystery buyer?
I cannot confirm or deny, but when you see a Tyrannosaurus Rex in the background of my weather shots next week, maybe that will confirm it for you. A clue. Let's get on over to the Weather Center here. It's a really nice start to the day in Regina and really across the province. We are seeing some precipitation just east of Prince Albert this morning. But other than that, it's a really nice start to the day. 18 degrees in Regina, 6-kilometer-per-hour winds with that mix of sun and cloud. Also seeing the sun and cloud in Saskatoon, 17 degrees and winds currently coming in at 15 kilometers per hour. Those winds are not going to be bothering you today, folks. Take a look at this wind gust board. We're not even seeing anything like lighting up other than that area just north of Prince Albert with a little bit of that blue color there. Still, it's going to be a very calm day, and it's actually going to be a little bit warmer compared to what we have been seeing yesterday. But it's going to be nice, bright and sunny, low wind speeds, an ideal day in Saskatchewan. 14 degrees right now to wake you up in Stony Rapids, 17 in La Ronge, Nipawin and Prince Albert, 17 degrees as well in Spiritwood, and 18 degrees in Hudson Bay. Down in the south, more of the same, 18 degrees in Moose Jaw and Wynyard, 16 in Yorkton, 16 in Assiniboia, and 17 degrees in Estevan. Into the afternoon today, we are going to be seeing a whole lot of sunshine. We have been noticing this morning that some areas will flip over to the rain icon, and then they'll flip right back to the mix of sun and cloud icon. If your city sees just a little bit of light spitting today, we won't be surprised because there's a very broken up, spotty system, but it's not going to be bringing any large accumulations. There's not going to be any sorts of downpours in central or southern Saskatchewan today. Most of that rain is going to be hovering far up north. In terms of temperatures, though, very nice and above that seasonal average. 27 for Swift Current, Moose Jaw, Weyburn, Estevan, and the Battlefords. 26 for Saskatoon and Regina, 25 for Prince Albert, and 23 with that cloud cover over in Yorkton. 7-day forecast looking really bright and sunny for our day tomorrow as well. 29 degrees for our Friday, 30 degrees on Saturday. We've been seeing it kind of flip-flopping Saturday in terms of if we're expecting a thunderstorm or if we're expecting rain or if the sun is actually going to come out. Right now we're seeing a little bit of rain for Regina, a higher chance of some thunderstorms up through Saskatoon. The temperatures will be really hot, though. It's going to be another hot weekend across the province. 30 degrees for Saturday and Sunday in Regina, 26 on Monday with some more rain, 27 on Tuesday, and 28 on Wednesday. In Saskatoon, 30 degrees tomorrow with that sunshine. Again, a higher risk of seeing some of those thunderstorms on Saturday through central Saskatchewan. 30 degrees, though. 28 on Sunday, 24 on Monday. Again, seeing that risk of some thunderstorms.
And welcome to another edition of X's and O's with Wes Cates. Riders on a bye week with a 4-1 record. So let's take a look at how things have gone so far this season, Wes. And let's start with the offense, where we saw an unbelievable receiving game we're seeing from the Riders right now. Harris is playing extremely well, but Keyshawn Johnson has 479 yards. Schaefer Baker, 471. So they're well on pace for over 1,000. And Emilus is doing well, too. So what is your thoughts on this offense and the way they've been performing early on this season?
Well, I think the offense, it really just comes down to health, Lee. I mean, like you just mentioned, you've got studs at receiver, and then there's kind of some guys waiting in the wings. We saw a little bit from Weeb. You know, obviously there's some other guys, Canadians too, right? Like Mims and other guys like that that could definitely step in and help out. And Trevor seems to have his guys that he likes. But at the end of the day, offensively, you've got one of the most accurate and quickest release quarterbacks in the league, if not the most accurate. And then also you've got a strong up front O-line. Everybody seems to be healthy, you know, all the way from Collins over to Yoshi. You know, everybody looks good there. And then and everybody loves A.J. Ouellette at the running back position. So as far as offense goes, I'm not too worried at all about the Riders.
Yeah, definitely. If the line allows him to throw the ball as quick as he can, they're going to be good. Defensively, though, your thoughts? They kind of started off a little slow. Don't know if you want to say it was the Dolagala effect, but they looked really good in their last game. And you got a guy like Vauders who's now tied for the league in sacks with 4 in the CFL. So are you seeing they're starting to build a little bit? Because there was a lot of changes up front.
Well, I mean, Vauders is starting to look like a really good pickup, Lee. I mean, he's really, I think his best year has been like 6 or 7 sacks. So he's on pace to just blow that out of the water and have one of his best careers. And then you look at the way guys have been, you know, handling business. There's obviously been some injuries, and then there's some question marks still about which ends are going to be in the rotation. You've had some DBs get hurt, but it's all seemed to work out in a sense. The linebackers have stepped up, made big plays, had big games. You see last week, you know, you got the big return from Woods. And then Antoine Brooks Jr. has been making big plays. He's the one that caused the fumble that was a scoop and almost scored. And then also he hustled and got the block that sprung Woods. So I think the linebacking core has been keeping that defensive group together. Secondary's been they've had a lot of bodies, so they've been able to rotate guys and kind of go with the hot hand, so to speak, back there in the secondary. So it's really looking like the defense that was a question mark at the beginning of the season is coming together and stepping up and performing above expectations so far.
Let's talk about special teams. That might be the biggest concerns. We've now got 2 returners that went down and now on a 6-game injured list. Most recently, Matthew Sexton. Maybe it might be Daniel Weave that's going to have to do this. But what are your thoughts on that? And also Alex Hale, 10 for 13. The furthest field goal he's hit is 38 yards. And in that last game, they decided to punt instead of go for about a 48-yard field goal. What are your concerns with Alex Hale, or do you have it?
Well, I mean, not right now, Lee. He's young. I mean, obviously he's a global player, so he's helping with the roster that way, giving you an extra body, at least on offense or defense, right? That way with the global rules. So I would say you kind of let him work through some hiccups. Hopefully, halfway through the season, he's cleaned some of that up. Obviously, he's not somebody that you're definitely trusting in right now, but we've got time. The offense is scoring enough touchdowns, and the defense is playing well enough that we can work with Alex right now, give him a little grace period. But if it comes down to the wire later on in the season, maybe you think about bringing somebody in. But he has a big enough leg, and I think maybe he just needs some good coaching, and he should be able to work his way through it.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see. By the way, Brett Lothar, 100% so far in Ottawa. It's the way it goes, doesn't it? It's just the way it goes.
That way.
Yeah. Well, bye week, so not much to talk about next week other than getting ready for that game versus the Edmonton Elks, who will likely determine who is in first place in the West Division. We'll talk about that game on another edition of X's and O's.
X's and O's, brought to you by Campion College at the University of Regina.
Today's opening day for the Junior Developing Diving National Championships, and Janelle Lippi's on location to find out what we can expect. Good morning, Janelle.
Good morning, Jeremy. A really exciting day ahead of us. We are spending this morning at the Lawson, and I've got Laura here with me, who is the head coach. Now, Laura, lots of work goes into this. Tell me a little bit about what the prep was like leading up to this.
Yeah, it's definitely very busy. The divers have been working hard all year, and actually for many years they've been working hard, so this is a big event for them, and having it at home for the 5 local divers is really exciting. And then of course lots of volunteers, getting the pool ready, getting all the equipment ready for all the teams showing up is always a big task.
Absolutely it is. It sounds like a ton of work, and as somebody who maybe isn't a really good swimmer like myself, the information you just gave us before we started here was fascinating to me. When do these kids start to get into swimming and diving and practicing?
Yeah, many of the kids competing, some of them as young as 4. Most of them started by the time they were 7, and then from the time they're 10 till 13, most of them are training 6 times a week, 3 hours of practice. So these kids definitely work very hard, very talented, and yeah, they've just been putting a lot in to get ready for this event.
A massive commitment for sure, and so much talent. Now, before we wrap things up, what can we expect from today?
Yeah, we have 64 divers from 19 different clubs across the country. So the kids are going to be ranging in age from 9 to 13 for this nationals, and they're going to be competing on the 1 meter, the 3 meter springboard, and then of course the platform, which consists of the 5 meter and the 7 meter platform.
All right, Laura, well, thank you so very much for this. Once again, a very exciting day, lots of talent. We're going to talk to some divers coming up.
All right, a truly cross-Canada event. Janelle, thank you very much. We'll see you again in a little while.
It's July 16th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Jessa. She's turning 4 years old. We hope you have a great day with lots of love from your Grandma Sherry. Also celebrating today is Hudson. Happy 10th birthday and welcome to Double Digits. Lots of love coming to you from your mom, dad, Taylin, Grandma, Uncle Lee, and Auntie Rachel. And we're also sending happy anniversary wishes out to Kyle and Carrie. They're marking 10 years of wedded bliss. Congratulations and lots of love from your family. And happy anniversary also going out to this beautiful couple. We didn't get their names, but we hope you enjoy your special day celebrating together.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
What's going on the radio today, Chase?
It's a big day. CCMA nominations. I know you guys have some to announce. We do as well. So those are going to be peppered throughout the morning here. And we'll see who could be taking home some hardware when the awards come to Saskatoon in September. Remember, too, ticket details at purecountry927.ca. We'll also have some more QCX tickets to give away after 8 o'clock this morning. Again, I'll try to guess your grad year with a few questions. And two, we're going to talk about maybe one of the most creepy things to happen at an Airbnb. The family was in there checking things out, and well, their picture was up on the wall. Maybe a giant coincidence, maybe the start of the scariest movie of all time. Only time will tell.
What category did you guys get?
We're going to have the single of the year coming up at 10 o'clock.
You got a really good one. We got one too. We got musical collaboration of the year coming up 7:45. We're going to find out who is nominated in that category.
It's not a competition, but ours might be a little bit better. I don't know.
It's better.
Being together forever is far from easy.
People are living 80, 90 years. That's a long time to be with someone.
Counseling psychologist Giovanna Childs with Cleveland Clinic says she's seeing a rise in what's called gray divorce. One study says the share of older adults divorcing tripled between 1990 and 2022. Other research says that as of 2019, 36% of divorcing U.S. adults were aged 50 and older, and 1 in 10 divorces is between adults 65 and older.
In our marriages, sometimes, not only for women, but for men as well, we can lose ourselves.
Childs says marital discord can be driven by a lack of fulfillment, a stagnant marriage, life-changing events, lack of a meaningful connection, having a one-sided relationship, or empty nest syndrome.
We've worked 20, 30 years at jobs, and now we're both retired and we're both at home together, alone with one another.
Some gremlins bouncing around in the system. Let's get over to our sidebar. If you're feeling like you're just a beginner at something you really want to do, just know you have to take notes from these guys. These triplets practicing sitting up, but there's a lot of giggles involved. Oh, and that guy's going to pull that guy over. There he goes.
Oh.
I think this mama's going to have her hands full for a while. All right, here's another one for you. If you want to know how cool your mom is, see if she can hang out with your friends. This Vancouver mom was invited out to a party. Invited out to the party with her friends. That's got to be a cool mom.
That is a very cool mom.
Playing pong, you're taking the selfies. Oh, she's strutting.
You got to do all the things. You got to do all the things, right? All the things the kids do. That's it for us for this hour. We're going to reset. We got more after this. It's Thursday, July 16th.
Our first priority is to keep people safe, from early fire detection to evacuation.
Out of control wildfires burning across northwestern Ontario, destroying homes and buildings, forcing people to flee.
I'll probably stay an extra week. That's probably not a good, probably a good plan, right? Instead of having delays in the airport.
WestJet flight attendants voting in favor of strike action, leaving passengers preparing for the worst.
Saskatchewan is well positioned to be a part of that supply chain and to meet that demand.
Saskatchewan is capitalizing on another AI opportunity with a major expansion, this time in Saskatoon. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Thursday.
And after yesterday, I think we're probably going to stay at these jobs and not be at Tim Hortons doing this.
Can I put you down for 10? How about 2? Egg sandwich.
It's a little goofy, but we almost sold out all of the bracelets at this location on Chuka Boulevard.
Yeah, and thank you to everybody who fell for my scamming tactics, because I was just
What is happening
I was
here?
just adding Camp Day bracelets.
At one point, Janelle and Kayleen serenaded some poor drive-through attendant.
Yeah, happy Camp Day to you.
There was a Camp Day song.
Yeah.
My favorite, I had a guy, we were waiting, the guy next to me was actually punching the orders in because I wasn't trusted for that, said, I got to go check on, see if there's enough steak for this guy's order. I said, okay. So I said to the guy through the drive-thru, hey, while you wait, do you want to hear a joke? He said, no. He said, long pause, and I said, it's a good one. He said, don't care.
Yeah, no, I had a couple people come in, and when I said, do you want any Camp Day bracelets, they just slowly shook their heads no.
No.
Okay.
No.
And Daryl was surprised. I was taking orders. I was pressing the buttons. I was clocking in for a shift.
Actually putting in
I was taking legal tender. I was giving people their change. Daryl looked over. He goes, what are you doing?
Mike DeStasio put way too much trust in us. That fundraiser's been going on since '91. It's raising a lot of good money for sending kids to camp. Let's get to news because we've wasted enough shenanigans time there. 47 active wildfires burning in Saskatchewan right now, 8 of those considered not contained. In Ontario, that number is up over 200, and it's creating a number of issues, including air quality. Matt Rivers reports.
This morning, millions of Americans under dangerous air quality alerts from the upper Midwest to the Northeast, as firefighters battle more than 180 wildfires in Ontario, Canada.
Seriously, we're encased in flames now.
2 train workers are okay after a wildfire surrounds their train, nearly trapping them. Skies in Boston looking apocalyptic.
Breathing's a little bit more strained than normal.
EarthCam video showing stunning imagery of Niagara Falls enveloped in orange. In the upper Midwest, this bridge in Michigan nearly invisible. Smoke also spreading from fires burning in Minnesota's Superior National Forest, forcing evacuations. The Minnesota National Guard participating in firefighting efforts. One official warns some fires there could burn for months.
So there will be some fire on the ground in some form or fashion, along with smoke, until it snows.
Breathing in the smoky air poses a risk for sensitive groups.
They might experience more cough, tightness in the chest. They might experience more wheezing, difficulty breathing.
Officials warning the smoke, coupled with an oppressive heat wave, could be harmful, urging people, especially those with pre-existing conditions, to limit their time outside.
Officials are urging everyone to take these warnings seriously. For many, conditions won't substantially improve until at least the weekend. Matt Rivers, ABC News in Weehawken, New Jersey.
Closer to home, Farm Credit Canada is offering support for prairie producers dealing with flooded or saturated fields. FCC said the supports for those facing flood-related financial pressure also apply to delayed field operations caused by severe weather. Customers hit hard by the weather events this season are encouraged to contact FCC to find out what options are available. Elsewhere, shorter-term flooding issues have been found in Bean Fate and Estevan after an overnight storm dropped a significant amount of rainfall in a short period of time. The storm overwhelmed Bean Fate's pump system, causing some flash flooding. The exact rainfall total still needs to be verified through Environment Canada. Town of Bean Fate is applying for provincial disaster assistance. Nearby in Estevan, less rainfall, but power outages in parts of the city did persist into Wednesday. A landmark shipment is due to move through the port of Churchill tomorrow.
This is a significant event in the sense of grain coming back to Churchill, going to global markets.
For the first time since 2000, prairie grain will be exported at the northern Manitoba port. The Port of Churchill holds a unique place in Canada's shipping. It's the only deep-water Arctic seaport in the country with a direct rail link to the North American network. The Port of Churchill expansion is under consideration as one of Ottawa's major projects. It would turn the port into a year-round trade hub. Saskatchewan capitalizing on another AI opportunity with a major expansion in your city, Jeremy.
Yeah, Daryl. Siemens EDA, one of the tech pioneers to use AI to automate building computer chips, is adding another 10,000 square feet to its footprint in Saskatoon. The company says it'll bring its site to around 45,000 square feet and allow the company to grow from 300 to 400 employees. What once started out as a small 350 square foot office will be a global hub in designing computer chips that are being relied on more and more with AI data consumption. With semiconductors now being a $1 trillion industry, the company and the province are happy to see Saskatchewan's largest tech company choose to grow here and not somewhere else.
We are proving that you don't need to be in Silicon Valley to do the work and technology that has a massive global impact.
Those microchips that power everything from smartphones to vehicles to critical infrastructure that are ultimately ensuring the sovereignty of our nations. Saskatchewan is well positioned to be a part of that supply chain and to meet that demand.
Roughly 80% of the workforce at Siemens EDA are graduates from the U of S, and that's a trend Siemens says it is looking to continue with this expansion. It was a scary situation yesterday when a plane came in for landing at the Saskatoon airport. Airport confirmed around 8:30 in the morning there was an incident upon landing involving a Cessna 310. No injuries were reported, but the aircraft was immobilized on the secondary runway where crews worked to remove the plane and take it to a nearby facility. The airport did not specify exactly what caused the issue, but did share that the YXC airport remains fully operational. Well, Daryl, we have a trial date been set in the Queen of Canada case.
That's right. It's for the owner of the former school that the self-proclaimed Queen of Canada resided in. It's been set for early 2027. Ricky Manzi is facing 3 charges: failing to comply with a release order condition, intimidation of a justice system participant, and failure to comply with an undertaking condition. He's also facing 7 additional charges relating to previous incidents. The Manzi allowed the group's leader, Romana Didalo, and her followers to reside at the former school in Richmond for almost 2 years. The Crown and Defence agreed to set the 4-day trial for January 5th as a start date out in Swift Current. A judge has extended a special court order freezing the assets of a prominent Alberta separatist.
Moreva orders are exceptional because they freeze a person's assets without giving them any notice and depriving them use of their property. They're to be exceptional because there's a real concern that the person's property is needed to satisfy a debt owed to another person.
Experts say this decision is extremely unusual. It all stems from a legal battle between Jeffrey Rath and Tall Cree First Nation over a multi-million-dollar trust he was overseeing. Rath is also a lawyer who once represented Tall Cree Nation. The First Nation alleges he misappropriated funds. A judge extended an injunction imposed last week, freezing more than $8.5 million worth of Rath's assets. He can only access funds for legal fees and $25,000 in living expenses. It's alleged Rath transferred $8.5 million from the trust to his own professional corporation earlier this month. The judge said there's evidence Rath could take steps to frustrate the process of locating the missing money. If you have travel plans with WestJet, there could soon be a disruption in your future after attendants voted in favor of a strike.
We're the second largest carrier in Canada, and yet somehow WestJet flight attendants are amongst the lowest paid.
Thousands of WestJet flight attendants could strike as early as August 2nd. Their union says its members are more than 99% in favor of strike action following 11 months of negotiations with WestJet. One of the main issues is over what the union says are unpaid hours. Flight attendants don't actually get paid until the doors of the aircraft close. The airline says their hourly wage is created to compensate that work. Now, experts say up to 25,000 passengers fly with WestJet every day, and the strike could have a major impact. Travel agents suggest coming up with a backup plan to avoid early disruptions. President Donald Trump in the U.S. set to make a prime-time address tonight. Instead of speaking about the war in Iran, Trump is instead expected to talk about voting machine security and alleged foreign interference in U.S. elections. Trump has repeatedly claimed that the 2020 presidential election, which he lost, and which happened under his watch as president, was rigged. This all comes less than 4 months ahead of crucial midterm elections. The Pentagon is planning to make testosterone screening mandatory for some of its troops.
I'm authorizing a new screening program for testosterone deficiency for our service members, ensuring you have the right testosterone levels to operate at your absolute best.
Screening would be required for troops aged 30 and up. If diagnosed with low testosterone, it would be up to each service member to decide whether to accept hormone replacement therapy. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth's video did not say if women would also be subject to hormone testing. Even Americans are following in Saskatchewan's footsteps when it comes to the use of time. The U.S. House of Representatives has voted to keep the U.S. on daylight saving time year-round. That's what we're on right now. Proponents say it would spare Americans the semi-annual clock change, of course, but critics say it would have a negative economic consequence, especially for farmers. According to the National Conference of State Legislatures, many states are ready to embrace this shift. 19 of them have enacted legislation to switch to year-round daylight saving time if Congress allows it. But the bill also states actually have an opt-out opportunity before that takes effect. The defending World Cup champions are heading back to the final.
Messi. Oh, and England are in trouble. Maybe to Lautaro Martinez. They're going out to the semi-final stage.
Lionel Messi completing the epic comeback, winning 2-1 over England. They have a chance to win it all on Sunday in the final. Let's get over to the Weather Center and talk to Kayleen Sawatsky. A little bit of smoke warning. That's just up along that, what is that, the eastern border right up to the Northwest Territories?
Yeah, so very far north in Saskatchewan, we are seeing those air quality statements currently in effect. That's talking about the smoke. But if you actually look at the smoke forecast, there's a very low amount of smoke that's actually in the air blanketing across Saskatchewan. Where we're seeing most of that smoke is over in Ontario. It's a nice, bright and sunny start to the day here in Regina, though. We're at 19 degrees, and really most places in the province are waking up to that temperature between 16 to 19 degrees right now. So a very nice start to the day. We have some east winds coming in at 6 kilometers per hour with that mix of sun and cloud. Again, a mix of sun and cloud up through Saskatoon, 18 degrees right now, and winds coming in at 11 kilometers per hour. We're not really going to be talking about those winds today at all. It's going to be very calm throughout the day. We did see some of that precipitation, though, late yesterday into those overnight hours, into early this morning as well. Quite a bit of that rain right around Prince Albert, and we also saw some of those thunderstorms in the areas right around Estevan. That part of the system does seem to be off into Manitoba now. They are waking up to some thunderstorms this morning. Also far up north in Saskatchewan, where we are seeing those air quality statements in effect, that's where we're also seeing some of that rain to start the day as well. Into the afternoon, could still be seeing some of those thunderstorms far up north. Down throughout central and southern Saskatchewan, we're not talking about a lot of precipitation today. Could be some very, very light spitting in some places, but it's not really going to be bothering you. Into tomorrow morning, Prince Albert, we could be talking about some very light thunderstorm activity tomorrow morning. Again, some light rain throughout southeast Saskatchewan tomorrow, right around Estevan, but that's very early in the morning. Into the afternoon hours, we see it just east of Saskatoon. Into the evening hours, though, could be seeing some thunderstorm activity throughout southwest Saskatchewan. In terms of the actual rainfall today, although you did see some light green spots popping up and leaving, we're not actually seeing any large accumulations today. So this is what I meant when I said it's going to be some very light spitting, because there are no accumulations in terms of those millimeters of rain. Today's forecast with the temperatures looking warmer down south than what we saw yesterday, right around the same for areas around the Battlefords, Prince Albert and Saskatoon, between 25 to 27 degrees. 23 in Yorkton, that's pretty similar to what we saw yesterday. However, areas around Swift Current, Moose Jaw, Regina, Weyburn and Estevan back up to between 26 to 27 degrees. Could be feeling hotter with the humidex feeling closer to 30 degrees. Let's take a look at our rural forecast. It's going to be another very warm and bright and sunny day today. 26 degrees in Spiritwood, 26 in Watrous, 23 degrees for Wynyard, and 27 in Outlook. Down in the south, more sunshine on the way. 28 degrees in East End and Rockland, 28 degrees in Coronach, 26 for Pilot Butte, and 26 in Carlisle with that mix of sun and cloud. Let's take a look at BT, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. 27 degrees this afternoon. Humidex could be feeling closer to 30 degrees. Mainly sunny and winds very calm today, only coming in between 10 to 20 kilometers per hour.
Hello. there, Kara Weiglin in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. And for it, we take you to Summer League. Little NBA action, Magic and 76ers. Keon Johnson taking flight, evades the block, throws down just a vicious one-hander. Showcasing some great control in midair to get to the rim for the finish. It earns him our must-see moment from Wednesday. Love a good NBA Summer League highlight. All right, coming up today on TSN, we have an all-Canadian rivalry matchup for you at MLS at CF Montreal, going head-to-head with Toronto FC. That one gets underway at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
So it's hot in many places, including this part of China, 40 degrees, and these people have found a way to beat the heat. So this is Southwest China, and it's a trendy thing to do these days, to play mahjong in the pool. Tables have been set up in the shallow end at this water park, and they just, have themselves a time.
I love this. We should play more games in the pool.
Move everything into the water.
Agreed. You can do anything in the pool.
Almost.
Wow. Maybe not.
I don't want to eat an ice cream sandwich in the pool.
Electronics-related
I'll eat an ice cream sandwich in the pool. I don't care. Then you get sticky. You get to wash it off with the water.
I guess that's fair. All right.
Yeah.
We can't go to a movie theater in the pool yet, at least I don't think. So what is the first one you remember seeing in a theater is our question of the day. The Odyssey comes out this week.
Yeah, so the very first movie you remember watching in theaters, Kevin saying Pinocchio. My uncle worked at the local theater and brought us to work one day. How fun.
Oh, free too. Cool.
Debbie saying I watched, the first movie I watched in theater was A Hard Day's Night with the Beatles in 1964.
Ooh. Nice.
We had Mark saying, I remember going to E.T., the walk there, mile long. We got right to the front within 10 people. They closed the doors. We had to wait 3 hours for the late show.
Oh, boy.
Probably 9 or 10 years old,
and
waiting very impatiently.
And that's where Blockbuster comes from. The Blockbuster. It's from the lineups that formed around the block.
Yeah.
Movie theaters.
We had Where the Red Fern Grows coming in. We had some other answers coming in as well. We had Leanne from Nipawin saying it was 1973. I was 7 years old. And I went and I saw The Exorcist.
That's a choice.
Whoa.
And I'm sure that has stuck with you, Leanne.
That's a choice, Leanne.
And on the complete flip side, Cheryl, first movie in theaters was Mary Poppins.
Also terrifying, I guess.
No, Mary Poppins is great. It's a classic. My father-in-law, Kelly, The Aristocats in 1970. Great little movie theater in Leroy, Saskatchewan. And you know what? Kelly, your granddaughter, my daughter loves The Aristocats. That has been passed down, that love. Gary saying my first movie that I remember watching in a theater was Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid at Capitol Theater, summer of '69. And
bought my first real 6-string back then, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Bought it at the 5 and Dime.
Okay.
Michelle saying my first movie was probably Planet of the Apes with my cousins. They were all boys. And we also had Cinderella at the drive-in with my parents when I was around 8 in 1980-ish.
Love a good drive-in movie theater. Let's throw that QR code up on the screen. You can tell us what your first movie was at the theater. We'll have our morning mystery in 2 minutes. Time for your morning mystery. We are told it is a fruit. I think we've run out of World Cup communities, so this might not play into that same theme that we've had for the last little while. This fruit is classified as a berry, but you wouldn't want it in a fruit salad. This contains more potassium than a banana. It is known as a butterfruit in parts of India and Hong Kong. What is that? Butterfruit?
This is not clear.
Salad.
Wish that picture in the background.
I know, I'm waiting for it. Looks like potatoes almost.
It does.
It does. It does. I have a guess, but
okay. Well, I joked before that I was going to guess pomegranate no matter what. So that's what we're doing. Pomegranate. Squash. Okay, squash seems like a good guess.
Oh.
It is an avocado. Yeah, that doesn't follow.
I'd put that in my fruit salad.
Is this the first time that we have that we all guess different answers and they're all wrong?
Significantly incorrect. Well, still a mystery to me.
Thousands of WestJet flight attendants have handed their union a strike mandate, which could lead to disruptions over the August long weekend. Turnout was 97.3% and 99.4% in favor of the mandate, which authorizes their union to enact a strike. The union has said wages, unpaid work, and working conditions remain the main sticking points. After 2 decades of resisting, Ontario is joining the Canadian Securities Administrators Passport System, an integral and long-awaited step in harmonizing regulation across the provinces and territories. The decision means businesses and investors can now access capital markets across all Canadian provinces and territories because decisions made by one province's regulator can apply in all other Canadian jurisdictions. The second of the 3 diamond mines that have long anchored the Northwest Territories economy is closing after its owner, Australia-based Burgundy Diamond Mines, failed to find a buyer for its Canadian subsidiary and ran out of funds to keep operating. That leaves the Gahcho Kué mine, owned by De Beers and Mountain Province, as the last diamond mine standing in the Northwest Territories, and it too is preparing to wind down in the coming years. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
All right, let's take a look at your travelers forecast across the country today. 24 degrees in Vancouver with some rain. Calgary, 29 degrees with a risk of some thunderstorms this afternoon. Edmonton, 29 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud. Over in Winnipeg, temperatures have fluctuated a little bit as we've been taking a look at this national forecast. They are now expecting a high of 25 degrees with a little bit of that rain today. Over in Ontario, we are finally getting a bit of a break from those 30-plus degree temperatures. Toronto, 29 today, and Ottawa, 25 with some rain. Montreal with a risk of some thunderstorms, 24. Fredericton, 24 degrees, mix of sun and cloud. And Halifax, risk of some thunderstorms, 27 degrees. St. John's, cooler today, 22 degrees with that mix of sun and cloud. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. Your average price is $168.9 today. You might be able to find it for as low as $148.9. In Saskatoon, your average price $165.9, but you could find it for as low as $154.9. In the farm markets today, we find the street price of canola at $740.45 per ton. Futures price $792.40 per ton. Amber Durum wheat $285.20 per ton, and red spring wheat $338 per ton. And the Canadian dollar is up. It's now at 71.18 cents US. Coming up in 15 minutes, we've got an exclusive announcement for you. We're announcing the nominees in one of the categories for the upcoming CCMAs in Saskatoon.
Good morning. Welcome to your morning time for your headlines. A Saskatchewan man has been ordered to pay $150,000 for comments he made on Facebook. CTV's Laura Woodward has more on the defamatory post and why the plaintiff's lawyer says the case sets a precedent.
In 2020, Jack Harper wrote Facebook posts accusing Deborah Perry, the administrator for the RM of Pleasantdale, of theft and lying. Perry filed suit for defamation, and a judge in Melfort found all the statements to be untrue and defamatory and ruled Harper acted with malice. Quote, his goal of achieving maximum harm to Miss Perry's reputation is evidenced in his extreme language. The judge ordered Harper to pay $150,000 in damages.
You can't be posting on the internet that a person whose job is being trusted by the public to administer a municipality is a thief or a liar or misallocating funds when those things just aren't true. And there has to be some consequences for that.
Perry's lawyer says the ruling sends a message that defamatory social media posts have consequences. He says municipal administrators in Saskatchewan are frequently targeted online.
She wanted to set a precedent and say, enough's enough.
And here's the kicker. Harper had the option to settle by writing an apology and paying $5,000, but he failed to show up to court 3 separate times. CTV attempted to contact Harper, but were not able to reach him. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Several federal ministers will address the Assembly of First Nations annual assembly today. Those expected to speak include ministers of Indigenous Services, Public Safety, and Natural Resources. The Prime Minister is not expected at the assembly today. This comes after the chiefs at the assembly voted unanimously against Ottawa's reforms to fast-track major projects if those reforms reduce their rights or weaken environmental protections. Chiefs are voting on more than 50 resolutions during this year's assembly. U.S. President Donald Trump is warning Iran better behave and is calling on them to return to negotiations with the U.S.
And they want to settle so badly. They don't like what we're doing. And they do want to settle. We'll find out whether or not we settle with them or we just finish it off.
Iran has launched new attacks on U.S. military bases in Gulf states after the U.S. attacked sites across Iran overnight. Tehran says they've hit targets in Jordan, Kuwait, and Bahrain. The U.S. says it's hit multiple locations, including in the Strait of Hormuz. Trump is warning about further military actions if Iran doesn't return to negotiations. Earlier this week, he specifically threatened their energy infrastructure. The Pentagon is planning to make testosterone screening mandatory for some troops.
I'm authorizing a new screening program for testosterone deficiency for our service members, ensuring you have the right testosterone levels to operate at your absolute best.
Screening would be required for troops aged 30 and up. If diagnosed with low testosterone, it would be up to each service member to decide whether to accept hormone replacement therapy. The Secretary of War said in his video, not specifically if women would be subject to that same testing. A severe parasitic illness continues to spread across the U.S., but at this point there are no plans for Canada to ban any U.S. produce imports.
The contamination usually happens before the food reaches your kitchen. The parasites spreads through human fecal contamination of water that's used to irrigate crops or wash fresh produce.
Now, data from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says nearly 7,000 people in multiple states may have gotten sick with cyclosporiasis since May. It's a gastrointestinal illness that causes watery diarrhea for 6 to 7 weeks, not days, weeks. More than 1,600 cases have been confirmed in the U.S. 5,100 are under investigation. The Public Health Agency of Canada says it is not currently investigating any outbreaks in this country. The CFIA says it's routinely testing for the parasite as part of its surveillance program targeting leafy vegetables, prepackaged salad mixes, fresh leafy herbs like cilantro and basil, along with raspberries and blackberries. Now to video of the Blue Angels jet flying low over a crowd of Florida beachgoers. The flyover thrilled the people on the beach, but it is under review. Rhiannon Alley with why.
This morning, stunning video showing a Navy jet flying extremely low over Pensacola Beach in Florida during a Blue Angels flight demonstration. Watch as the jet soars just feet over the heads of dozens of beachgoers, tents seen collapsing, umbrellas and chairs lifting off the ground, and visitors stunned.
I've been coming for 10 years, and I've never seen a pass like that in my life.
I'm going to remember that for probably the rest of my life.
John Austin Lynch was there and says the jets had been circling for nearly 2 hours up until that startling moment.
They were flying over our heads all day, and so... But nothing nearly like that. I would describe it as frightening in a good way, like when you're watching a movie hoping for the jump scare where it gets your heart pumping.
The crowd erupting in applause after the spectacle. The flyover was conducted to mark the start of the Blue Angels 2026 Pensacola Beach Air Show, this year honoring the 80th anniversary of the historic flight squadron. In a statement, the Blue Angels saying the aircraft was flying lower than standard profiles and that they're reviewing the incident, adding, the safety of our hometown community, spectators, and our pilots is our highest priority. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
There is another Chinese car maker looking to break into the Canadian EV market.
The quality is good, the price is good, and when people start to test the vehicle, say, wow, this is good.
Dongfeng held a showcase yesterday in Montreal, planning to introduce 2 models in Canada, a mini SUV and a subcompact. Both will be priced under $35,000. Dongfeng is working through the certification process right now. China-made EVs are coming as Canada's market is bouncing back. New data shows sales of zero-emission vehicles went up almost 20% in May, year over year. A good surprise for berry pickers in Saskatoon. Owners at the Saskatoon Berry Barn say now is the time to come pick your berries because they are ripened early. Berry Barn staff say conditions changed dramatically with rain and hot temps, so they're ready to go.
We got 2 or 3 inches there in a couple days over a weekend, and then we got the hot, humid weather, and things just exploded.
They're so plump this year. Like, they're pretty plump last year, but they're much better this year, I'd say.
It's advised to get picking soon because most of the crop are expected to shrivel up before the beginning of August. Has a short berry picking window. So today a good day to get outside and do some berry picking, Kayleen?
It would be a fantastic day to get outside from morning to night. It's going to be a wonderful sunny day in Saskatchewan. This morning view is brought to you by Stars Lottery, your ticket funds life-saving care across Saskatchewan. We're at 19 degrees to wake you up in Regina. Winds have remained very calm to start your day. In Saskatoon, 18 degrees. Again, winds very calm with that nice mix of sun and cloud. Just an ideal morning to be waking up in Saskatchewan. Into the afternoon hours, we're not really seeing the winds picking up at all. This is a wind gust board, what you're looking at right now. We're seeing some of that blue color lighting up in areas north of Prince Albert for parts of the morning. Other than that, it's going to be a very, very calm day. Current temperatures out there, we're now seeing 16 degrees in Stony Rapids, 17 in La Ronge, and 18 in Buffalo Narrows. Also at 18 degrees, Spiritwood, Prince Albert, and Hudson Bay. Just below that, 17 degrees in Nipawin and Melfort. Down in the south, more of the same, 17 degrees in the Battlefords, Kindersley, Swift Current, Assiniboia, and Estevan. 16 degrees in Yorkton, 18 degrees in Wynyard and Moose Jaw, as well as East End to wake you up. Into the afternoon today, we're seeing temperatures right around where they were at throughout central Saskatchewan yesterday. 25 in Prince Albert, 26 in Saskatoon, and 27 in the Battlefords. 23 degrees in Yorkton, which is close to where we were at yesterday too, with that cloud cover, though more so down south, right around Estevan, Weyburn. 27 degrees, that's warmer than we were at yesterday. Humidex is going to be playing a factor today. We're seeing the Humidex showing that it's going to be feeling closer to 30 to 33 degrees down south, so it is going to be very hot with that sunshine. UV index is considered very high today, 8+, so that does mean you're going to want to put on that sun protection if you are heading out the door. It's even sunnier tomorrow, 29 degrees in Regina, 30 degrees on Saturday, but we do have a chance of seeing some of that rain. 30 degrees on Sunday, more of that sunshine on the way, 26 on Monday, and again expecting just a little bit of light precipitation. 27 by Tuesday and 28 degrees on Wednesday with that mix of sun and clouds. So the 7-day forecast is looking pretty nice. 30 degrees in Saskatoon tomorrow with that sunshine. 30 degrees on Saturday as well. However, we are seeing a bit of a higher chance through central Saskatchewan of seeing those thunderstorms. This also includes areas around Prince Albert for your day on Saturday. Could start in the late afternoon and into the evening hours. 28 on Sunday. That is another day we're expecting a lot of sunshine, so make your plans to get outside on that day. 24 on Monday, risk of thunderstorms starting in the early afternoon. 26 on Tuesday, mix of sun and cloud, and a little bit sunnier on Wednesday, 28 degrees.
Select clothing for Jeremy Dodge, provided by Anthony's Fashion.
This is a very exciting morning here at Your Morning Saskatchewan. An exclusive announcement. The 2026 Canadian Country Music Association Awards will be handed out in September in Saskatoon at a star-studded show. And we are learning the nominees for various categories throughout the day, including right now. Let's go down the line and join JJ and Ty Hunter from the Hunter Brothers. Fellas, thank you so much for doing this. You're here for a very special reason this morning, and that is to announce the nominees in the Musical Collaboration of the Year Award. But before we get into that, JJ, how about being a performer on the show?
Daryl, first of all, thanks for having us on the show. We're just thrilled to be part of the CCMAs again this year, and it's always an honor. The celebration of country music across Canada, all the artistry, the creativity, the work that's been put in, and so to have an opportunity in our home province to be part of the official show is a real honor, and we're looking forward to it.
Ty, unless you live under a rock, everyone knows you're from Shaunavon, Saskatchewan, so to bring the country music world here to Saskatoon, to Saskatchewan, that's got to mean a whole lot.
Yes, it does. And in case anyone was under the rock, I just brought the hat for today. So, yeah, no, we're super proud to be where we're from here in Saskatchewan, and specifically in Shaunavon. It's where we've grown up, where we were born and raised. And yeah, it's neat when that gets to cross over with national show of this status. And so we're excited to be there and excited to see all of our friends and people along the way.
Born and Raised sounds like a good name for an album or a single.
Yeah.
Somebody should do that. Hey, you're here for a very important reason. That is Musical Collaboration of the Year. There are 5 nominees in this category. Take us through them.
All right, so the nominees for Musical Collaboration of the Year award are Backfire by Nate Holler and Tennille Towns. Loved this song the first time that I heard it. Nate, Tennille are both awesome individuals, and this song is very deserving of the recognition. So congratulations, Nate and Tennille.
Number 2, we have How Do You Miss Me by Dallas Smith featuring Alexandra Kay. Love to see Dallas in this category. He's been such an icon throughout Canadian country music. Love this song, love this chorus of this song especially.
Alexandra on the rise. All right, next we have Drunk Right Now, Na Na Na, Josh Ross and Akon. This was a pretty massive collaboration that came out, so when I saw this, it made a lot of sense, but it's wild because it was a revisitation to a song from my childhood and now a country smash. It's reawakened the senses of a classic into something new. Then we got Shooting Star Sasha with Restless Road. She just crushed it at Country Thunder Saskatchewan, and we had the opportunity to perform with her on our Burning Down the Barn tour. She is awesome, and so stoked to see her in that category as well.
And to round it out, we've got Till the Wheels Fall Off featuring the Road Hammers and Tyler Connolly and Ian Thornley. So super excited for these guys. The Hammers have welcomed us into the Canadian country world right from the beginning. We're thrilled for them to be part of this group.
What an exciting group of nominees. Can't wait to see this all play out. Of course, the awards happen in Saskatoon Saturday, September 19th. They're available on CTV and streaming on Crave. Gentlemen, what a thrill to have you here. I wish we had more time. I wish you had your guitars with you.
Thanks for having us, Daryl.
Next time.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Good morning, Canada. Faith and Wayne saying hi from Sun Valley Resort, Buffalo Pound Lake, north of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Have a great day and a wonderful weekend.
All right, let's head back to the Lawson Aquatic Center now. Catch up with Janelle Lippi on the opening day of the Junior Development Diving National Championships. Janelle.
Good morning, Jeremy. That's right. Some really exciting stuff happening today, and we've got our first special guest of the morning, Wynn, who is a diver. Now, Wynn, tell me a little bit about what's going on today.
Today, for me, I have a handstand contest where you have to hold the handstand for the longest, and I have a rip contest, which I'm really excited about today.
All right, so we were talking a little bit about ripping earlier this morning. You were teaching me some of the lingo and what that means, but let's tell our viewers a little bit about what that is and what board you'll be jumping off.
Today I'll be jumping off that board up there, 7, and the goal of ripping is for no splash. When you hit the water, for no splashes to come out of the water.
Okay, so you are very, very brave. I could personally never do that, so I admire you for that. Now, you know, you've worked so hard. What are you looking forward to the most out of these next coming days?
I'm looking the hardest for platform because I work a lot on that board, and I just love that you can go so high on the boards, and I just love going high and going into the water and ripping it.
Yeah. Now, what was your biggest challenge that you faced while prepping for this?
The biggest challenge is, I think, learning new dives, because learning new dives it's really hard, especially when competitions are coming up, just to learn them and then compete them. It's just really a challenge to get over that. It's also the mental. It's just diving just does something all things on your mental, and you got to be able to push through, and it's just a really great sport. Yeah.
All right, well, hard work is paying off, as you can see. Thanks so much for spending some time with me this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, well, some exciting stuff coming up today. I want to check out this ripping. I don't know, I think I might have to give it a go before we leave this morning.
Do it. That would be gold television. At least, Janelle, looking forward to seeing what you do come up with a little later on.
It's July 16th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Jessa. She's turning 4 years old. We hope you have a great day with lots of love from your grandma, Sherry. Also celebrating today is Hudson. Happy 10th birthday. Welcome to Double Digits. Lots of love coming to you from your mom, dad, Taylin, grandma, Uncle Lee, and Auntie Rachel. We're also sending happy anniversary wishes out to Kyle and Carrie. They're marking 10 years of wedded bliss. Congratulations. Lots of love from your whole family. And happy anniversary going out to this beautiful couple. We didn't get their names, but we hope you enjoy your special day celebrating together.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
Feel that sweet relief, Chase? The air's a little lighter. We don't have those nominees at NDA over our heads. We can get that information out to the world.
Yes, I still have mine, though. We're not announcing the single of the year for the CCMAs, the nominations, until 10 o'clock this morning. So I'm still trying not to spill the beans before that. And it's going to be the longest 2 hours of my life. But we're continuing to give you those nominations throughout the morning here. I'm still predicting this is going to be the year of Thelma and James. I think they're going to be taking home the most awards throughout the show. But I'm also usually wrong on these. So that might have just jinxed them. But we'll continue to give those nominations away. And then we'll continue to give away some prizes too. Next hour, Pile of Bones Rodeo will give you a chance to win your way into that for this Saturday, along with the Cabaret and some more Queen City X tickets to give away after 8:30 this morning.
I think we need to find ourselves a way to get the boss to rubber stamp approvals for us to go to the red carpet.
Yes, 100%. Or we sneak in. They have to unroll the carpet. Right. I'll be just in it.
Yeah.
And then,
that's one way to do it. I figure we can ask them what they're wearing and things like that, right?
Yeah, someone's got to do it. Why not us?
Why not us?
FIFA is adding another musician to its all-star lineup for the World Cup final. Post Malone will be headlining the closing ceremony this Sunday in New Jersey.
It's like seeing a ghost.
Dexter Resurrection is adding another killer actor to its cast. Gabriel Luna from The Last of Us will join the second season of the Dexter sequel. He joins previously announced guest stars Brian Cox and Dan Stevens.
Acting's what I live and breathe for. And I gotta have faith in myself.
We have our first trailer for I Play Rocky. The new biopic stars Anthony Ippolito as Sylvester Stallone as he writes and fights to stardom in Rocky. It hits theaters on November 6th. And happy birthday to Will Ferrell. The comedic actor turns 59 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News.
This developer went from playing Nintendo games to creating one.
I've always wanted to make a Nintendo game ever since I was 3 years old. It wasn't until I got older that I learned that, hey, this is a thing that people can actually do.
Trevor from Nova Scotia is a software developer who spends his hours away from work making video games. Superstar Strategy is his latest work inspired by retro games he played as a kid. The game is Trevor's first commercial release. It will make its debut on the Nintendo Switch, believe it or not, in September.
So are we playing?
I don't have a Nintendo Switch, so I have to borrow one from somebody.
I have a Nintendo Switch.
Look at you.
Yep.
Oh, money bags. Money bags.
All right, 3D scanning and printing has opened brand new doors for historians. They're now able to create high-resolution copies of ancient objects with the technology. These models give researchers access to works that would otherwise be inaccessible. The information can be used to study objects, keep track of their condition, and plan for restoration.
There you go. Quickly, we got enough time for one more, Jeremy.
All right, goats. They're putting their gifts to good use to protect grasslands in Edmonton.
A lot of the weeds that other livestock won't eat are actually palatable to the goats.
Yeah, goats prefer to eat weeds, shrubs, and woody plants. Perfect for a city looking to keep that vegetation under control.
They certainly do that here in Wascana Park.
Yeah, we love that.
Yeah, we're not mad at it. We'll see you in a minute.
Hey.
Welcome to Thursday, July 16th.
I'm finding it difficult to breathe, like I have to have my apparatus.
People across much of Ontario this morning breathing in thick, hazy wildfire smoke as air quality warnings continue.
I'll probably stay an extra week. That's probably not a good, probably a good plan, right? Instead of having delays in the airport.
WestJet flight attendants vote in favor of strike action, leaving passengers preparing for the worst.
With the 26th pick of the 2026 MLB draft, the Atlanta Braves select Carter Beck, an outfielder from Indiana State University.
And we are connecting with the newest member of the Atlanta Braves later this hour. Stay with us for that. Stay with us, Saskatchewan, right now. Your morning starts. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Thursday.
And thanks to the local Tim Hortons for taking us on an adventure yesterday at Camp Day.
I know, I sure had fun.
We had a lot of fun and we raised a lot of money, which was a good thing. We got a lot to get to this morning, including your forecast. But first, we start with wildfire news coming out of Ontario this morning and the wildfires that are raging across the northern part of that province. 180 wildfires currently burning, 136 in the northwest alone.
Unfortunately, one of our communities completely burnt down from fire, and it was very, very disheartening.
One of the hardest hit communities is Collins First Nation, which has seen significant damage to homes and buildings. The nearby community road is inaccessible, forcing many to leave by boat. Evacuation orders remain in effect for several other First Nations. Now, smoke from those wildfires is drifting south with a thick haze covering cities such as Sudbury and Toronto. Orange and yellow air quality warnings have been issued for a wide area of the province, advising people to limit their times outdoors. And that smoke is also raising concerns south of the border. Health officials in New York and New Jersey are on alert ahead of the weekend's FIFA World Cup final set for Sunday in New Jersey. As of this morning, 3 cities in North America, Detroit, Toronto, and Minneapolis, had the worst air quality of any major city in the world. That is according to the air quality monitoring site IQ Air. Farm Credit Canada is offering support for prairie producers dealing with flooded or saturated fields. FCC said the supports for those facing flood-related financial pressures also apply to delayed field operations caused by severe weather. Customers hit hard by weather events this season are encouraged to contact FCC to find out what their options are. Elsewhere, shorter-term flooding issues in Beanfate and Estevan after an overnight storm dropped a significant amount of rainfall in a short time. The storm overwhelmed Beanfate's pump system, causing some flash flooding. The exact rainfall total still needs to be verified. Town of Beanfate is applying for provincial disaster assistance. Nearby in Estevan, less rainfall, but there were power outages. Let's talk airlines now. They have voted overwhelmingly in favor of strike action at WestJet. If a deal, however, is reached between WestJet and the union before, it will be business as usual. But as Alicia Fieldberg reports, some travelers are already looking at other options.
This family is hopping on a WestJet flight to China and doesn't expect to be back in Calgary until next month.
Flying home on August 2nd. Could be difficult, right?
That's the day airline workers may begin a strike. The union representing 4,400 WestJet flight attendants says its members are more than 99% in favor of strike action. It follows 11 months of negotiations with WestJet.
We're the second largest carrier in Canada, and yet somehow WestJet flight attendants are amongst the lowest paid.
Along with that, Yet flight attendants' wages don't start before the doors of the aircraft close, and the union says they each work up to 35 unpaid hours a month. The airline says their hourly wage is created to compensate that work.
Every hour our flight attendants works is compensated.
This remains an outstanding issue at the bargaining table, but we're looking forward to WestJet coming to the table to resolve that issue.
Last year, Air Canada's flight attendant strike lasted 3 days, impacting about 500,000 passengers before the federal government ordered them back to work. WestJet is smaller, but a strike could still have a big impact.
Probably about 70 to 75,000 passengers a day at WestJet, trips being interrupted.
Travel agents suggest coming up with backup plans early in case of a strike.
I would definitely look at other airlines to see if I could book a refundable flight to get home. If I didn't have to come home on August 2nd, I might push it later or earlier.
If your flight is canceled, document all expenses and react if the airline doesn't quickly rebook you to depart within 48 hours.
Give the airline a chance to do the right thing and comply with the law. If they refuse, buy yourself a ticket and then make the airline pay for it. And that means taking the airline to small claims court and suing them and making sure that they pay what they owe you.
That's why the Taralas are already considering changing plans to avoid a possible strike.
I'll probably stay an extra week. That's probably not a good, probably a good plan, right? Instead of having delays in the airport.
I don't really want to wait for my flight to be longer because I don't really like waiting in airports.
Nobody does. Nobody does. Some Conservative MPs say Canada's current approach to bail laws and the justice system has contributed to a rise in violent crime. Wednesday, here in Regina, Andrew Scheer, surrounded by fellow Conservative MPs, called out Mark Carney's Liberal government.
Crime is an issue that unfortunately touches Canadians in every community, big and small. And despite the rhetoric and the illusion the Mark Carney Liberals are trying to paint about taking action, we know a year into Mark Carney's government that the results just don't match the rhetoric. Numerous pieces of legislation have not only failed to undo previous bad Liberal policy, but they've in fact made it worse, further weakening penalties and sentencing provisions.
The Conservatives are calling for stricter penalties and tougher measures for repeat and violent offenders. Saskatchewan capitalizing on another AI opportunity, this time in Jeremy Dodge's neck of the woods.
Yeah, Daryl, in Saskatoon. And Saskatchewan capitalizing on, as you said, this boom in technology with a major expansion. Keenan Sorokan reports it's hoped the growth announced will help fuel technological advances over the next decade.
What was once a 300-square-foot office in Saskatoon is growing to become the world's next home of vital hardware for the technological boom.
From a small startup to becoming the largest tech company in the province, making an impact on the world stage, this is our Made in Saskatchewan story.
Siemens EDA, which started as Solido Design Automation in 2005, is adding another 10,000 square feet to its space in Saskatoon, which will allow the company to grow from 300 to 400 employees. The company is seen as a pioneer in using AI to automate computer chip design. The phone, laptop, or car you use every day has a chip inside of it, and it's software built here that's making them smaller and better performing while using less power.
We are proving that you don't need to be in Silicon Valley to do the work in technology that has a massive global impact.
As the latest tech advancement in Saskatchewan, Premier Scott Moe says capitalizing on $1 trillion semiconductor industry that is only growing represents an economic opportunity.
That's exciting, I think, for us and as individuals working in this industry, as companies like Siemens EDA, but it's also exciting for us as a province and being part of a broader strategy across Canada.
Siemens Canada says this expansion combines local talent with its global scale and represents its confidence in the Canadian tech sector.
It's always a race. It will continue. The innovation cycles are getting shorter and shorter, so we cannot stop. And we will continue to invest in this business.
Rather than see innovation in faraway places, semiconductors powering the future will be designed and fine-tuned right here in Saskatchewan, the latest home of AI opportunities. Keenan Sorokan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, Daryl, speaking of technology, SpaceX shares have dropped below their initial public offering price for the first time.
Yeah, just a little more than a month after the biggest public offering ever. The SpaceX IPO on June 12th made Elon Musk the world's first trillionaire. Shares fell yesterday to $134, below the $135 public offering price, as well below the all-time high of $225.64. This decline could test investor confidence in the stock. Butter churning is back at the Western Development Museum out in Yorkton. It is not the only activity visitors can try. There is also ink making and paper quilting. The latter is part of the Friendship Quilt, telling the story of WDM visitors throughout the year. This year, there was even a blacksmith demonstration.
We have had an amazing turnout this year. We had more than we could have ever expected, so we're pretty excited.
Okay, so following the Museum Fun Day, the rescheduled Canada Day festivities begin on the museum grounds. Argentina back in the World Cup final after another comeback win.
This one's on target.
It was England who scored first, but Argentina kept threatening until they equalized in the 84th minute. Their relentless attack continued, and in stoppage time, they scored the go-ahead goal. Messi assisted on both in the 2-1 win over England. Argentina now gets a chance to repeat, taking on Spain in Sunday's final. For England fans, it was more heartbreak. Sounds about right. For England, it is a 60-year World Cup drought that will keep on going. Fans questioning the team's decision to park the bus after scoring instead of going on the attack for an insurance marker. Argentina supporters, on the other hand, could not be happier. They have now staged another furious comeback win, familiar to the round of 16 match against Egypt. Sunday's World Cup final goes at 1 o'clock our time at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Weather dependent, of course. We talked about the smoke there in the area. France and England will play on Saturday for bronze. You can watch both those on CTV, TSN, and Crave. Some of your Morning Saskatchewan's favorites helped out at Tim Hortons yesterday.
For $3. Can I put you down for 10? How about 2? Egg sandwich.
Camp Day back with 100% of the proceeds from hot and iced coffee donated to Tim Hortons Foundation, of course, to send kids to camp. You can purchase the bracelets. We almost sold out of them, Kayleen. There was a dance at some point, and you badgered a lot of people at the window.
Yeah, badgering is the correct word for it. And you know what? I apologize to everybody that I was badgering. I was practically shaking them down for that $3 a piece.
Yeah, there were a few that did not like my shenanigans on the headset, I will say. I will say that straight away.
No, but I think most people had a lot of fun, us included.
Yeah, well, I think so.
Let's get over to this morning view. It's brought to you by Stars Lottery. Your ticket funds life-saving care across Saskatchewan. We're at 19 degrees to wake you up in Regina. More of that cloud cover has been taking over in the past few minutes. So a cloudy start to the day, but don't worry. The sun will be shining this afternoon. Winds very calm. You're not even going to feel them if you're heading out the door this morning. 19 degrees to wake you up in Saskatoon. A bit more sunny through central Saskatchewan, although we are talking about some of those air quality statements still in effect for parts of the north. Still seeing some of those air quality statements in northern Manitoba as well. Here's a look at what we're actually talking about today, though. It's still fairly low levels of smoke across the prairies. Nothing like what we're seeing over in Ontario. We are seeing parts of southern Manitoba seeing some higher concentrations of some of that smoke as well, but even still, we're still in the blue areas here. We're not quite getting into those greens, yellows, or those oranges or red colors like we're seeing over in Ontario. Today's forecast with the temperatures looking warmer down south compared to where we were at yesterday, back to above that seasonal average. And not only are we above the average again, we're also talking about humidex values feeling closer to 30 to 33 degrees today in some areas down south. So it is going to be a very hot day. 27 degrees, though, with that actual air temp for Swift Current, Moose Jaw, Weyburn, and Estevan. 26 degrees for Regina and Saskatoon, 25 in Prince Albert, 27 in the Battlefords, and 23 degrees over in Yorkton. more of that cloud cover hovering over the Parkland region. 5-day forecast looking pretty good. 29 degrees tomorrow, and we're expecting a whole lot of sunshine for our Friday. Other than down through the southwest corner of the province, going to be seeing the potential of some potentially some strong thunderstorms tomorrow evening. Other than that, though, sunshine in the afternoon. 30 degrees on Saturday. Could be seeing some of that rain in Regina. 30 degrees on Sunday. More of that sunshine on the way, and a chance of some rain returning for our Monday. 26 degrees. In Saskatoon, up to 30 degrees tomorrow. Again, as we mentioned, it's going to be very sunny in the early parts of the afternoon. 30 degrees on Saturday. Again, a risk of some thunderstorms on the way. 28 degrees on Sunday and 24 on Monday.
Hello there, Kara Weiglin in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. And for it, we take you to Summer League. Little NBA action. Magic and 76ers. Keon Johnson taking flight, evades the block, throws down just a vicious one-hander. Showcasing some great control in midair to get to the rim for the finish. It earns him our must-see moment from Wednesday. Love a good NBA Summer League highlight. All right, coming up today on TSN, we have an all-Canadian rivalry matchup for you at MLS at CF Montreal, going head-to-head with Toronto FC. That one gets underway at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
In case you missed it, a British-born baker is celebrating the World Cup with some epic cakes. Guy's name's Ben Cullen, goes by the Bake King. Recently showed off how he made this cake that looks exactly like the World Cup trophy. He also made this one, which is a near-perfect replica of the official World Cup ball. So some pretty impressive craftsmanship, to be sure.
Then you feel bad eating it,
too.
For a second.
Yeah, no, I don't think you feel bad.
I could not cut into it.
I could.
Like that show on one of the streamers, Is This Cake? They start slicing into, oof.
It's very impressive. I
a
want
lot
to
of
know
fondant.
it's also yummy. Exactly,
That's the thing.
because sometimes these cakes that are art pieces, they're just heavy on the fondant and they don't taste as
They have
good.
cardboard in them sometimes to keep the structure.
Yeah.
But they are beautiful. Wow, oh wow. Let's get over to our question of the day. We're asking you, what is the first movie that you remember watching in the theater? We're going back a few years now in some of these answers.
Yeah, well, so this one, first answer saying Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Which one?
I got to say that's probably the Gene Wilder original.
Yeah.
OG,
right?
I would expect.
Probably not the Johnny Depp one. Lori's saying, my first movie, not sure, but I do remember seeing Grease 3 times in theaters. You ever have one of those movies you just keep going back to watch?
Very rare.
Yeah. Kim saying Star Wars in Regina. Another answer saying it was Where the Red Fern Grows in 1974 at the Brentwood Theatre in Calgary. Darren saying very first movie I saw in theater, Jaws, with my aunt in 1975. Didn't go swimming for quite a while after that.
I can imagine a few people did not.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another one, my first movie was Old Yeller in the Shaunavon Theatre.
Some of these were just mandatory reading back in school.
Yeah. Julius, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Wow.
Cool.
I do
That's a
remember
really
that.
good answer. Lisa in Shaunavon saying it's got to be Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. When I was 3 years old, went with my mom, dad, and older brother. Don't remember the movie, but seemed to be a big deal back in '68.
I would think it's still around, so it probably is.
Another answer for Jaws in 1975 from Shelley. Michelle M. saying the first movie I remember seeing in the theater was E.T. 8 years old. Went at least 10 times to see it.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was already in the cheap theaters. It cost us $0.25. Can you imagine going to the theaters now and it costing $0.25?
I can't think of a theater movie I've gone to twice.
That's not a thing.
You can't think of a movie you've gone to more than once in the theaters?
No.
Oh, I definitely could.
I've seen a few.
Outside of, like,
not more than twice, though.
I know I've seen, when I go to Disney, sometimes the theater is nice and dark, like Disney's Philhar Magic. I've had to go back into that a couple of times because I wake up and I'm like, oh no, I missed it.
I have my comfort movies that I can watch over and over and over again.
But in the theater, though?
But in the theaters, no, there's a couple I can tell you about, but...
At $20 a pop. Thanks for participating in our question of the day.
Good morning, Canada. It's about 5:30 in the morning. on a beautiful southern Saskatchewan morning. We've had lots of rain this year. The birds are happy. The trees are happy. And my favorite times of the day. Have a great day, Canada.
So you can see the process.
Layer by layer, this customized contact lens comes to life in a matter of minutes.
Just take it out.
Made with the help of a 3D printer and a team of researchers at the University of Waterloo.
Printing these rigid or sometimes called hard contact lenses, which requires a lot of personalization.
Hard lenses are different from the more common soft contacts. They're specialized for complex prescriptions and can last up to a year. But personalization often means more money and more time spent at the eye doctor.
Currently, the rigid contact lenses are around $500 to $1,500 US a pair.
The team says it hopes to cut costs to 1/10 of that price and time it out to just 20 minutes.
Hopefully, with this printing, we can just deliver the perfectly fitted hard contact lenses in one shot.
And let's have you put your chin on there.
The process starts with a scan of a patient's corneas.
Even with astigmatism, the cornea will look different in certain spots, so it will have deeper portions where it's supposed to be flatter, or it'll have flatter portions where they're supposed to be more steep.
A file is then sent to a computer program that sets up the shape of the disc. A silicone formula is applied to the printer, and with the click of a mouse, the countdown to a customized contact lens begins.
After printing, we need a coating, and we just use UV light to cure it until it is hardened.
The materials also undergo a vigorous safety screening.
We need it to be good with our body, our body reacts with some materials that are not they're toxic to our body, so we don't want it to be like that.
The plan now is to refine the research and patent the product.
Right now, I'm not telling it's completely perfect, but yes, hope so soon.
For people who've struggled to find a comfortable fit, this tiny lens could mark the beginning of a much clearer future. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Waterloo.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
Time for another edition of Charity Connections, powered by the Saskatchewan Community Foundation. Today we're learning about the Rainbow Youth Centre and how this partnership has helped them. We welcome in Jackie and Jonah for more. Welcome to you both.
Morning.
So Jackie, I'm going to come over to you first. Tell us what the Rainbow Youth Centre actually is.
Rainbow Youth Centre has been around since 1982, and we are a center that works with youth aged 11 to 29 in 6 different programs. So our programs run from our evening programs from youth care, youth skills, and then we have day programs for our young parents and our families.
Wow, that's amazing. So you probably hear day in and day out how much these programs help the community.
Absolutely. We have former participants that were in Rainbow programs 20 years ago that are now staff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously very connected in the community here.
Absolutely.
And with the Saskatchewan Community Foundation. So Jonah, I'm going to come over to you. Why was the Rainbow Youth Centre an organization that you wanted to partnership, and how did this come to be?
Yeah. So Jackie's energy is just infectious, and you can tell her passion for everything that she does in community. And by and large, the charitable sector does run on passion, but that's not enough to keep everything going. And so the Saskatchewan Community Foundation is trying to help organizations like Rainbow Youth Centre be more sustainable with their funding. And if you've seen those lawn signs around the community, we really want people to give where they live, to give locally and to support organizations like the Rainbow Youth Centre.
So obviously that support will be helping a lot of youth in the community. Just how important has this partnership been for you?
It is so important. There's no organization that can do what we all do as organizations in our community alone. And having the support of Saskatchewan Community Foundation is vital for us. It's vital to make sure that our programs are long-lasting, to be able to leave a legacy for our programs. All of that is so important. Regina is such a small community And we need to make sure that we use as many people as we can in our community to give, to work, to play. That's what it's all about.
So what's new and exciting for the Rainbow Youth Centre, and how can people get involved and show their support?
Well, we have our annual round dance coming up on September 12th, and that is going to be right across the street from Rainbow Youth in the park at 977 McTavish Street. Everybody is invited. It's a great event. I think last year we had like 800 people. And it is one of the best things I think that we do all year long. And for the youth, it is just coming into the center. We open our doors for the youth care program, which is 11 to 19 at 3:45 in the afternoon, and they can come in and we have a hot supper. And give a call to Rainbow Youth Center for any of the other programs for young parents. And it's just give us a call and we'll direct your call and we'll make sure that we get you involved.
Thank you for everything that you do to help our community, and thank you both for coming in today. That's all for today's edition of Charity Connections, powered by the Saskatchewan Community Foundation.
Welcome back to your morning. It is 8:30. Let's get to your headlines. A downtown Regina mosque is asking for your feedback after pausing its public call to prayer following pushback. The RCJM took to social media on Tuesday, inviting residents, workers, business and property owners in the downtown area to take part in the survey. The in-person survey is planned for Friday. On June 20th, you'll remember, the mosque broadcast its first live outdoor call to prayer, which lasts about 3 minutes and drew backlash from several online. The Regina Police Service noted the broadcast did follow the city's bylaws for noise. The Muslim call to prayer dates back some 1,400 years. It was a scary situation Tuesday when a plane came in for a landing at Saskatoon's airport. The airport confirmed that around 8:30 Wednesday morning, there was an incident upon landing involving a Cessna 310. No injuries were reported, but the aircraft was immobilized on the secondary runway, where crews worked to remove the plane and take it to a nearby facility. The airport did not specify what exactly caused the issue, but did share that YXE Airport remains fully operational. A new report by the Alberta government says the emissions per barrel from the oil sands have fallen as production has grown, but critics argue the numbers don't paint the full picture. Here's Mark Villani.
Oil production is up, but the intensity of emissions is down. The province credits new technology, innovation, and more efficient operations.
Economic growth and environmental stewardship can and must go hand in hand.
According to a new report from the Alberta government, greenhouse gas emissions for a single barrel of oil produced have fallen by 28% since 2012. During that same time, daily production increased to 3.3 million barrels per day, and annual production doubled.
What the world is demanding is for us to double production and to be able to do that in a responsible way.
But some environmental groups are skeptical of the way this is being measured. Total overall Canadian oil sands emissions have risen by about 20 megatons annually.
Nowhere near what the province is trying to pass off as actual progress.
The province says its Pathways carbon capture project is intended to change that. This week, Alberta, Ottawa, and 5 major oil sands producers signed a memorandum of understanding to advance the multi-billion-dollar plan. Supporters say it helps cut emissions while increasing production for a West Coast pipeline.
This is an infrastructure investment that is going to yield benefits, as Trans Mountain has, and at some point will be monetized by the government.
But critics say carbon capture efforts have shrunk significantly from an original goal of 22 megatons a year by 2030.
Now we're talking about 6 megatons of carbon capture by 2035.
Taxpayers could also end up helping fund both the carbon capture system and financial incentives aimed at encouraging oil sands companies to increase production.
There is an opening for yet more public support to defray the cost of this project, which is ultimately about oil sands firms cleaning up after themselves and paying to reduce their own pollution.
All the while, some Alberta landowners are expressing deeper concerns over a CO2 pipeline.
This is going to contain all kinds of chemicals and hydrocarbons. It is potentially harmful to lives, to land, to water.
We're going to get there, but it will come in stages.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Saskatoon has seen significant increases in the number of Dutch elm disease cases in recent years, and now the city of Regina says their numbers on the rise. Mick Favel reports.
A tree planted sometime in the 1960s being cut down due to Dutch elm disease. It's one of 26 infected trees confirmed in the city of Regina so far this year.
We are seeing it everywhere, but we do have more elms centrally located, so we are seeing more cases in the central area.
Cases of Dutch elm disease have been on the rise since 2024, when numbers jumped to 84, up from 24 cases the previous year. In 2025, there were 87 confirmed cases. This year is on pace with last year's numbers. Jim Hunter is the one who called the city about the infected tree, with more being found nearby.
They cut one down this morning, and then just going to the south from our corner here, there was another tree cut down this morning. So this seems to be the one that's got all the publicity, but it's the third tree cut down.
Depending on the size, it costs the city between $1,000 and $10,000 to cut down a single tree. The disease is spread by an elm bark beetle. Provincial regulations state elm wood cannot be stored, used, or transported for any purpose. Trees struck with the disease can be identified by their leaves.
You will see a flagging on, it starts on one limb and kind of works its way up where the leaves will wilt and brown, but they'll hang on to the tree. The city crews will then take a sample and submit it to the provincial lab.
The city of Regina says the yearly numbers of trees being impacted by Dutch elm disease will likely stay the same going forward. Residents are being asked to call the city if they suspect a tree may be carrying the disease. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
This year's unpredictable weather patterns have created an unexpected surprise at the Saskatoon Berry Barn. Owners say after a slow start to the seasons, the berries have now ripened much faster than expected, meaning the picking season is now in full swing. Here's Carla Shinkarak.
They're just so good.
This Saskatoon berry picker is taking advantage of the suddenly ripe crop at the Berry Barn. She filled over half a bucket in less than half an hour.
You can get a lot of berries. Oh.
Co-owner Grant Erlinson has been here in the Saskatoon berry business for 29 years, and last year was his first bumper crop, but says this season has been one of the most surprising yet.
I was telling everybody, oh, it's going to be 7 to 10 days, and I was such a liar. Yeah, you can see where we've trimmed off. I was just shocked when some of my guys came in and said, you know, the berries are ready. And I said, what? We went out and looked, and sure enough, they had turned in like 2-3 days. Just crazy amount.
It all started with some rain earlier this month.
We got 2 or 3 inches there in a couple days over a weekend. Then we got the hot, humid weather, and things just exploded.
The rapid ripening has created a short window for picking, but it's welcome news for those who are eager to stock up.
They're so plump this year. Like, they're pretty plump last year, but they're much better this year, I'd say.
Erlinson says the earliest they've ever had berries ready was the 3rd week of June, while the latest to start picking was the 3rd week of July.
What we have is very good quality.
This year's crop falls about a week earlier than that late season mark, but this crop doesn't have much time.
And I'm predicting within a week we'll probably be done Saskatoon berries. So if anybody wants to pick Saskatoon berries, you got to get at her, because they're not going to hang around.
Good timing for this group as they have big plans ahead for the Saskatoons they picked.
I'm going to be turning these guys into cupcakes. Pies, cupcakes, muffins. Might just eat them plain straight.
Carla Shinkarak, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Saskatoon Mamba dropped their 2nd in a row last night.
Watson Gale wasting no time bringing it back up the floor. Osborne now, step back 3. That's his 2nd of the game.
They were scoring left and right. Jamal Fuller led all scorers, by the way, with 20 for the Winnipeg Sea Bears, easy for me to say, as they beat the Mamba 96-83. Mamba will try to get back in the win column on Sunday when they take on the Calgary Surge on the road. Weather time. Kaylee, take it away.
Well, some great news in the Weather Center, honestly. Today is going to be a fabulous day in Saskatchewan. It's going to be nice, bright, hot, and sunny. A little bit more cloud cover down south right now, though, to wake you up. Don't worry. The sun is going to be coming out in the afternoon hours. It's already warm, though, 19 degrees. Winds are so calm in Regina. You are barely going to notice those as you're walking out the door. 19 degrees to wake you up in Saskatoon. Winds currently coming in at 13 kilometers per hour. And again, a nice, bright, and sunny start to the day throughout central Saskatchewan. Here's a look at your winds for the afternoon, and what a treat this is to see. Winds are going to be so low this afternoon. Again, you are barely going to be noticing those. Current temperatures out there, a very pleasant start to the day. 20 degrees already in Buffalo Narrows, 17 in La Ronge, 19 degrees in Prince Albert, and 19 degrees in Hudson Bay. Down in the south, 19 degrees in the Battlefords, 18 in Swift Current, 19 to wake you up in Moose Jaw, and 18 degrees in Estevan. Into the afternoon hours, again, you're seeing a whole lot of sunshine on your screen, other than a bit more cloud cover expected over in Yorkton. This isn't to say that we are not expecting any rain in the province today, but any rain that does come through is expected to be short-lived and very light in totals. 27 degrees in the Battlefords, 26 in Saskatoon and Regina, 27 in Moose Jaw, Swift Current 27, Weyburn 27, and Estevan 27. And again, those are the air temperatures. Humidex is going to be playing a factor today. It's going to be feeling closer to 30 to 33 degrees, which means the UV is going to be high today, or actually it's considered very high. So make sure you're protecting yourself from the sun's rays if you are heading outside today. Again, UV sitting at about an 8 today. If you are heading out tomorrow, though, it could be even higher. We're expecting, again, a lot of sunshine, and temperatures are going to be higher tomorrow as well. 29 for Regina, 30 degrees on Saturday with a chance of some rain on the way. Less of a chance of rain on Sunday. We're expecting it to be hot and sunny, 30 degrees, 26 on Monday. Rain could be coming through yet again, 27 on Tuesday and 28 by Wednesday with a mix of sun and cloud. In Saskatoon, a nice, bright and sunny day tomorrow as well, 30 degrees on Saturday. A higher chance there, though, of seeing that rain and a risk of some thunderstorms. 28 on Sunday with that sunshine, 24 by Monday. Again, risk of some thunderstorms returning, 26 by Tuesday and 28 degrees by Wednesday.
The 2026 MLB draft, the Atlanta Braves select Carter Beck, an outfielder from Indiana State University. The New York Mets have...
Carter Beck, the newest member of the Atlanta Braves. He becomes the highest ever drafted player from right here in Saskatchewan. Played at Indiana State University, as you heard them say there, and he's with us this morning via Zoom. Carter, congratulations.
Thank you.
Has it sunk in yet?
I mean, I think it's sunk in as much as it's going to sink in, but it's still unbelievable and just so cool, such a cool opportunity. Yeah, I'll be riding the high for a while.
When you were growing up, you were probably, I would imagine, as most Canadians, a fan of the Blue Jays. Are you still?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was always a fan of the Blue Jays growing up. I don't know, it's a weird thing. I mean, I think I still cheer for them a bit, but I got a new team that's my number one, I guess.
You got another Canadian. The Braves seem to love Canadians. They had Mike Soroka for a number of years, a pitcher. How do you fit into their mix? What conversations have you had in the early goings with their management?
It's been pretty minimal, but just kind of they're excited to get me out and get me training and see what I can do and see how much I can progress in the next year or two and or three. And I think they're all excited to get me out. And they have quite a few Canadians still in their organization, and they like their Canadians.
At what point during the season did you think this might be a possibility?
Well, I knew I was going to get drafted this year, the whole season, but kind of as the season kept going, I kept putting myself in a better and better position. And I knew kind of that before the draft, I probably wasn't going to make it out of the second round. And you never know how things can work out because one thing leads to another, and then something like that can happen. And I thought I'd be like early-ish second round to late first round, and I bumped up a little earlier into the first round even than I would have hoped. So it was pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if I would have said at the start of the year, I for sure would have never thought I had a chance. I was just going to go and play and do the best I could, and whatever happened. But I think everything worked out the right way for me, and it's just so cool.
Now, when you sit there and you hear me say that you're the highest ever drafted from Saskatchewan, and there are kids playing baseball right across this province that have these high hopes, and they look up to people like Dustin Mollican, who's done it. Do you think of yourself as an inspiration? And what would you say to those young kids that are 6, 7, 8 watching Major League games thinking maybe one day I could do it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a big part of why I do it too, is to inspire those kids. And I think the biggest thing is like the boring answer. It's you got to keep working, you got to keep practicing, and you just got to make yourself a better athlete. And that's a huge part of it. Is don't just get so centered on baseball that you forget the other little aspects of just getting your body ready, and also just being more athletic and learning how to compete.
What are you going to learn about yourself, do you think, over the next couple of weeks when you head into camp and kind of get that measuring stick?
Oh, I think there'll be lots to learn. It'll be interesting to see because you got all sorts of different backgrounds. Like, there's not many of me from Southeast Saskatchewan, Carnduff. A lot of bigger city kids and stuff. So it'll be good to see and just kind of meet everyone and different backgrounds and all this stuff. And once we get going, it'll be fun because it's in minor baseball, everything's a competition. Like, everybody's competing and everybody's trying to fight for that spot in the big league team. So it'll be a good grind, and I think you learn a lot about yourself too in the minor leagues because you're playing every single day pretty much, and you play for 9 months a year.
Carter, I'll leave you on this. Nobody gets there on their own. Who do you have to thank for getting you to this point in your career?
I mean, well, first my parents and immediate family. Like, can't thank them enough. They gave me every opportunity I'd ever need, and then after that, I can extend it out to. There's a long list of people I can extend it out to, but just the Saskatchewan community, especially down here in the Southeast, all over the place, I've been helped out, and just super cool seeing the support.
Thank you so much for a couple of minutes, and good luck on your journey.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
My Swedish boy over FaceTime. Oh no, opening up will make me a headline. Boots, that's my ego boost. Schedule ain't been loose for a minute. Yeah, I'm that girl I've been in. Ha, 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 ha.
All right, let's head back out to the Aquatic Center and see if Janelle made it all the way up to the high board.
Good morning. As promised, we've got two special guests, some divers. We've got Julie and Anna here with me. We're going to talk all things diving this time around. Julie, let's start with you. We've got lots to talk about, but tell me a little bit about how long you've been diving for.
This is like my 3rd or 4th year. I've worked really hard to get here, and it took a lot of work.
I bet it did. This is so exciting. Some big days ahead of you. Anna, what about yourself?
I've been diving for around like 5 years, I think, and I've been working really hard, and I'm excited to compete.
Wow, so this is some really exciting stuff. You're going to want to make sure to come out and check it out as well. Lots of work put into this. Now let's talk a little bit about what you're most excited for today.
So I'm most excited for synchro with Anna because we have some history. We have been synchro divers for about 2 years, and we've been having a lot of fun doing it.
This sounds so exciting. Now, I don't even know if I should ask. I'm sure it's fairly similar, but what are you looking forward to the most?
I'm most excited forward to doing synchro with Julie because me and her had some struggles and not struggles. It's been going pretty good, pretty not good.
So lots of hard work being put in. What went wrong and what went right in this process?
Well, at Westerns, I almost fell off the board in synchro, but then we made it good, and then the fun part is we called our synchro people the Janas. And our coach is Jana.
I really like that. All right, so for those who are watching, what would you tell them to get them out here to come watch and support?
To get them here and watch and support, be like, diving is a really hard sport, but it's also a really cool sport to see all of the people dive and do all the hard stuff and the easy stuff. And then there's also people that rip their dives and people that smack, but that's all in the good stuff.
All right, you two, well, you both are pros. Have so much fun in these next coming days. That does wrap things up for us this morning down at the Lawson.
Something big here.
You wrote this in 3.5 days. This is freaking good. Have someone like Chuck Bronson, or we could do Eastwood.
Guys, I play Rocky.
Sylvester Stallone's real-life $1 million to 1 shot to make his career-defining film comes to the big screen in I Play Rocky. Anthony Ippolito plays Stallone in the underdog story about the underdog Oscar-winning movie. I Play Rocky opens in theaters in November.
No one will take their Blu-rays away. They'll still have those films.
Double duty for Danny McBride. He's now set to direct as well as write the next G.I. Joe movie for Paramount. It'll be McBride's feature directorial debut.
The whole concept of narrative art has been forgotten.
Not quite. George Lucas has been honored in Paris as a Knight of the Legion of Honor. Also receiving that honor in a ceremony at the Élysée Palace, veteran actress Sigourney Weaver, two-time Academy Award winner Jodie Foster, and Illumination founder Chris Meledandri, the producer of the Despicable Me and Minions movies. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
It was love at first sight for one airline passenger embarking on a week-long vacation.
She turned to the internet for help, and the internet came through.
Here's ABC's Sophie Flay.
We have safely landed in Cleveland.
Cleveland! Yes, Cleveland, where love has just landed.
This whole thing has been going crazy, and I didn't think any of this would happen.
Grace Rombach never expected to find love on her way to her Florida vacation.
Going on the news, I've had multiple interview requests.
Including us.
Tell us all the interesting details. It's been a whirlwind 24 hours for you.
Grace says she arrived late at Cleveland Hopkins Airport last week, boarding her plane barely on time, settled into her seat when Cupid struck.
And I noticed like a couple of maintenance people kind of got on and they were walking to the back of the plane. And I looked up and I saw a very handsome man. And so I was going to say something to him. He was standing right next to me. I kind of smiled. We made eye contact. And then he walked right past me.
If this was 1986, that would have been the end of the story. Thankfully for Grace, we now have the internet. Specifically, Reddit, where Grace took a stab in the dark with this post addressed to the dark-haired maintenance guy at the Cleveland airport.
I thought it was going to be like every other Reddit post I've ever made and have like 5 likes and then disappear into the rest of the internet.
But it worked like a charm, going viral, with the airport contacting her and doing what airports do best, making the connection.
Then checked my requests, and I had a message from the guy. His name is Simon, and he said, "You called." And I said, in a roundabout way, I did call.
Over the weekend, Grace returned to Cleveland, and they finally got together. This time, for real.
It's good to see you, and yeah, it's just been an interesting week.
And as for Grace, she's touched that so many people helped her to make her ultimate connection.
I think people want you to find your person, and they'll do anything they can to help you find that person. And it was really sweet to see kind of like the city of Cleveland specifically come together to help me find a man.
Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
See, the internet machine can do some good.
Sometimes.
Some good. I like that he said it's been an interesting week.
Yeah.
Interesting at least.
All right, well, some of your Morning Saskatchewan's team helped out at Tim Hortons for Camp Day yesterday. Take a look.
For $3. Can I put you down for 10? How about 2? Egg sandwich.
The most horrifying part of this is people actually heard my real laugh instead of my
Swindling.
fake TV laugh. Because
Swindling people.
My in real life laugh is more like a which I didn't like in that clip.
Why this happened, and your serenading of people at the drive-thru was disruptive.
Well, here's the thing. You were promising people
songs, jokes, high fives.
Jeremy, he was
autographs
on the headset,
yep.
And he was saying, all right, please drive ahead and ask the girls for one song. And then we were put on the spot.
Yep.
So we were singing Happy Camp Day to you.
One of my favorite moments was Gaynor doing like the air traffic controller thing to get people down the drive-through lane. And at one point I said to one of the people, okay, that'll be $7. Do you know how to get here? And they're like, I think so. Like, okay, it's just the road you're on. If you pass the window, you've gone too far.
My favorite, I was holding up Camp Day bracelets, and I was saying, freshly caught off the coast of Swift Current this morning, fresh organic Camp Day bracelets.
We can sell, sell, sell. Have a great rest of your day.
Nicely done, team.